and progress. As we deliberate on the theme Evolving Enterprises, Navigating Gig Innovation, Green Operations, and Digital Relationships. With reverence for knowledge, respect for sustainability, and a vision for digital advancement, we begin this intellectual journey invoking wisdom from the past, engaging with the realities of the present, and shaping pathways for the enterprises of tomorrow. A warm good morning to all of you present here. I, Dr. Anshul Malik, on behalf of Amity School of Business, welcomes you all to our fourth International Conference on Entrepreneurship and Sustainable Business Development. We are delighted to have you all here today as we embark on a journey to explore the intersection of entrepreneurship and sustainable business practices. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the conference and provide an overview of ICESBD 2026. We are honored to have Dr. Ruchi Khandelwal, ma'am, Deputy Director Academics and Conference Convener, to guide us through the objectives and highlights of this prestigious event.
Thank you, Anshul. Distinguished guests, respected speakers, esteemed delegates, colleagues, and my dear participants. A warm good morning to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure as the convener of this conference to welcome you to the fourth edition of International Conference on Entrepreneurship and Sustainable Business Development on the theme Evolving Enterprises, Navigating Gig Innovation, Green Operations, and Digital Relationships. This theme reflects the realities of the current business landscape that is dynamic, digitally driven, environmentally conscious, and increasingly dependent on flexible talent ecosystems. Enterprises today are no longer defined solely by physical boundaries or traditional organizational structures. The rise of the gig economy has transformed how work is being performed, delivered, and valued. At the same time, the urgency of sustainability has compelled businesses to reimagine operations that are not only efficient, but also environmentally responsible. Overlaying these shifts is the rapid digitization of relationships between companies, customers, employees, talents, and businesses, and society at large. This conference seeks to explore these interconnected transitions and their implications on businesses across sectors and geographies. We are especially privileged to be conducting this conference in association with the University of Ljubljana, Slovenia, and Kingston University of London. These collaborations reinforce the global character of our dialogue and enrich our deliberations with diverse academic tradition, international perspective, and cross-cultural insight. Over the next 2 days, the conference will feature keynote addresses, panel discussion, paper presentation, and research poster presentation that examine these themes from theoretical, empirical, and practitioner-oriented perspective. I'm confident that the discussion will not only advance scholarly understanding, but also offer actionable insights for policymakers, entrepreneurs, and industry leaders. A very interesting part of the conference is the Next Gen Innovate Expo, which serves as a dynamic showcase of startups and forward-looking businesses driving digital disruption, breakthrough innovation, and sustainable solutions for the future economy. As I take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to our eminent speakers, session chairs, reviewers, and authors for their valuable contribution, I also acknowledge the dedication and tireless efforts of the organizing committee, faculty members, and the student volunteers who have worked behind the scenes to make this conference a success. I encourage all participants to engage actively, ask questions, share perspectives, and use this forum to build meaningful academic and professional connections. May this conference inspire fresh ideas, constructive collaborations, and impactful outcomes. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to all of you and wish the conference a great success. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your comprehensive introduction and for outlining the vision and objective of ICESBD 2026. Your insights have provided a clear and engaging start to this conference, inspiring all participants to actively engage and contribute. As we move forward and embark on this beautiful journey of learning, let us seek the blessings of Goddess Saraswati, the divine source of knowledge, wisdom, learning, music, and the arts. Revered as the embodiment of creativity and enlightenment, Ma Saraswati inspires clarity of thought and purity of purpose. She is gracefully depicted seated on a white lotus, symbolizing purity and truth, with four arms that represent the four dimensions of human learning: mind, intellect, alertness, and ego, guiding us toward balance, wisdom, and self awareness. We invite our respected dignitaries to kindly come forward for the lighting of the ceremonial lamp, symbolizing the triumph of knowledge over ignorance and light over darkness.
या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसारपरमाम् आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणापुस्तकधारिणीमभयदाम् जाड्यान्धकारापहा हस्ते स्फाट
It was indeed a mesmerizing performance and a delight for the ears, eyes, mind, and soul. Now, it's a pleasure to welcome our esteemed audience to ICSBD 2026. We are honored to have Dr. Sujata Khandai Ma'am, Director, Amity School of Business and Chairperson of ICSBD 2026, to extend her warm greetings and set the stage for this conference. Dr. Sujata Khandai Ma'am is a distinguished academician and visionary. Good morning, everybody. Ms. Simin, Ms. Saranya, Ms. Santosh, VC Ma'am, Dr. Bansal, our uh, Additional Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ruchi, dignitaries of the DAS, Dr. Sivan, my faculty members, and my dear students. I extend a very hearty and warm welcome to each one of you in the fourth edition of this conference. I remember the day we started this journey 4 years back when I entrusted this task of having a conference on sustainability and entrepreneurship, the two hallmarks of Amity School of Business, to a group of bright young students guided by my very enterprising faculty members. And we are here today. We have grown by leaps and bounds. And today we touch upon very critical aspects of both entrepreneurship and sustainable development. Now, today, entrepreneurship is not just about creating wealth, it is about creating work. Dr. Ruchi has spoken at length about what this conference is all about. So I will not talk much about the conference, but a little bit about sustainability and, of course, how it interfaces with entrepreneurship is something which I'm very, very passionate about. I'd like to just discuss and talk about a few things here, take a few moments to develop on a few pertinent aspects here. Today, entrepreneurship is redefined by one very critical question. We have a very enterprising entrepreneur here. I was just talking to him, and I'm sure he will corroborate my feeling. It is not just about how businesses grow, but it is also all about how they grow responsibly. Now, today,
what we hear about, let's talk about climate change, there is talk about resource scarcity and increasing and rising social inequality. So sustainability is no longer something which is there and it's okay, we will take care of it when it suits us, right? It has become very central and it is probably existential to our continued growth and the future of our civilization. So the most promising ventures today are those that embed environmental and social considerations into the core strategy from the very beginning. They are the ones who are responsible and who will survive. There is a global momentum. I'm sure you've all heard about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. There is a global momentum around this that further highlights how businesses and society progress are increasingly intertwined. Startups aligned with these goals are more likely to gain investor confidence, customer loyalty, and thereby long-term resilience. They are the ones who will succeed. And I think I have a number of examples. Today, if you see a lot of startups, they are focusing in these areas primarily. However, sustainable entrepreneurship is not merely about compliance or green positioning. There's a lot of greenwashing happening these days where startups say we are green, but actually they are not. So when you are saying you are sustainable and you're green, it requires authentic purpose, it requires transparent communication and measurable impact. Avoiding greenwashing and building credibility are essential and critical for long-term and lasting success. Ultimately, the future of entrepreneurship lies in not just creating ventures that deliver both profit and purpose. Sustainable businesses are not just economically viable, they are socially responsible and environmentally regenerative. I welcome you once again to this very, very pertinent and relevant conference. I encourage you to take part in all the discussions, be interactive, participative, network with everybody that is there. And I welcome you once again, and I hope you have a very happy time while you, in the 2 days that you are here, and happy learning and happy networking. Thank you once again for being with us.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your inspiring welcome address and thoughtful words that have set a positive and energizing tone for the conference. We truly appreciate your guidance, leadership, and continued support in making ICESBD a success. Before we proceed further, we would like to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guests and dignitaries who have graced us with their presence today. Your support and involvement are invaluable as we strive to ignite conversations, forge partnerships, and spark innovation. May I now request Dr. Sujata Khande ma'am to kindly welcome our esteemed dignitaries. Our chief guest for the day is Ms. Simin Askari. Let's welcome all. Guest of honor, Ms. Saranya Pradhan. Keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Mate Sende, who has joined us virtually. Keynote speaker, Mr. Santosh Sharma. Professor Dr. Balwinder Shukla ma'am, Vice Chancellor, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh. Professor Dr. Sanjeev Bansal sir, Pro Vice Chancellor, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, and co-patron of ICESBD 2026. Thank you, ma'am, and we welcome again to all our guests and dignitaries to ICESBD 2026. It's a great matter of pride and privilege to introduce Professor Dr. Sanjeev Bansal, sir, Pro Vice Chancellor, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, and co-patron of ICESBD 2026.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Sudham, it's morning time only? All right. Good morning, everyone. Just like an Amidian, that's great. Honorable Vice Chancellor, ma'am, all the esteemed guests on the dais, industry partners, faculty members, and above all, dear students. On behalf of Honorable Founder President Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, our Chancellor and President of our foundation, Vipin Balved Education Foundation, Dr. Tulsi K. Chauhan, our two mentors of this conference, Shri Abhay Chauhan ji and Shri Amol Chauhan ji, our respected Vice Chancellor, Dr. Balvinder Shukla ji. And on my personal behalf, I welcome all the esteemed guests here. We welcome Ms. Simin Askari, Chief Human Resource Officer, Executive Advisor from DS Group. Ms. Nanya Pradhan, Head Sustainability and Corporate Communication, McCain Foods. Professor Dr. Matez, who is online here from School of Economics and Business, University of Ljubljana. Mr. Santosh Sharma, Founder and CEO of Book My Jet, Professor Ivan, and all the esteemed members for their presence here. We are actually grateful to all of you for sparing your valuable time for this conference. I congratulate Dr. Suyata Khandai, Head of HOI of MIT School of Business, the organizing team of this wonderful conference, for curating this relevant and timely theme. The theme here is evolving enterprise, navigating gig innovation, green operations, and digital relationships in this international conference on entrepreneurship and sustainable business development. The theme reflects the realities enterprises face today, where innovation is continuous, sustainability is imperative, and digital engagement defines competitiveness. Enterprises across the globe are undergoing a fundamental shift. The gig economy is redefining talent ecosystem. While this model offers immense opportunities for innovation and efficiency, it also runs very important questions around skill readiness, workforce inclusion, and long-term organizational commitment. The objective of any conference and every conference is basically to look after these questions only, these question marks only. To answer these queries, always the role of academia is appreciated. The role of academia becomes crucial to look after these issues. As an educational institution, we must dig out through teaching, through research and industry collaborations with these emerging realities. Our responsibility is to prepare graduates who are not only technically sound, but they are competent otherwise also, and they are also adaptable, ethically grounded, and sustainability conscious. I'm confident the insight shared by our speakers and all the guests in this conference is going to be a great learning for all of you present here. And the perspective here in this conference are going to be benchmark for tomorrow for all of you. I wish everyone a great success for this conference. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful and motivating inaugural address that set a strong and thoughtful direction for the conference. We are deeply grateful for your continued support and leadership for ICESBD 2026. Proceeding further, I take this privilege to introduce our chief guest, Ms. Simin Askari. She has been associated with DS Group and worked with reputed organizations such as HCL, the Times of India, and Apollo Group. Her expertise lies in building robust, fair, and scalable people systems through leadership, accountability, digital interventions, and performance frameworks that foster engagement and resilience. Beyond her organization role, Ms. Simin Askari ma'am actively contributes to the HR fraternity as chair of the CII Western UPHR and IR committee, advisor to NHRDN and academic institutions, and mentor to young professionals. Her leadership and impact have been widely recognized, including being named among India's top HR leaders and receiving the Fortune Leadership Awards 2025, reflecting her enduring commitment to people-led sustainable business excellence. It's a privilege now to call her and please deliver to our young audiences for some inspiring thoughts. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for a very, very elaborate introduction. Just a small correction, I'm very recently superannuated and not associated with DS. Nevertheless, been a home to me for the last 13 years, so very much consider myself still to be part of that organization. Distinguished guests on the dais, respected speakers, Madam Vice Chancellor, Dr. Professor Shukla, Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Sanjeev Bansal, Dr. Sujata, Dr. Ruchi Khandelwal, my fellow speakers, the entrepreneurs in this entire conference, and of course, most importantly, the students who are participating today. Thank you so much for having me here, and I'm truly privileged and honored to be part of this conference. I'm delighted, in fact, to be part of the International Conference on Entrepreneurship and Sustainable Business Development 2026. And I congratulate the organizing team for choosing a theme that is not just very current, but incredibly relevant to the world that we are living in. Evolving enterprises, navigating gig innovation, green operations, and digital relationships. If anything, this title alone tells us the importance of something very, uh, something deep here. The businesses around us are no longer governed only by stability. It is about continuous evolution. We are living through a business reset. The work, the workplace, and the workforce, everything around us is changing. The way we work has changed dramatically. The way we build companies has changed. And also the way we define success is also changing now. The economy itself is over $1 trillion globally. Sustainability has moved from the margins to the boardrooms now. And digital relationships, whether they are with customers, with employees, or with partners, they're often formed even before we meet in person. So the question no longer remains, what business are we in? The question now becomes, how do we stay relevant? How do we stay responsible and resilient in this ever-changing climate that we are in? So talking about the three aspects, the gig innovation, green operations, as well as digital relationships, let me take them one by one. Let's talk about the gig innovation and the gig economy. The gig economy has brought in a lot of speed. It's brought in a lot of flexibility and access of talent to the organization. For the entrepreneurs and organizations, this is a huge opportunity because it now provides talent which could be taken on board as and when required. But also with that comes a lot of responsibility. As we design agile work models to cater to this economy, we must also think about the fairness. We must think about the dignity and long-term employment. And that's where the new labor codes that have been proposed and are now in vogue, they have actually taken care of this aspect. For the first time, gig workers and platform workers are formally being recognized within the legal framework. And there is a clear intent to extend social security benefits, including access to healthcare, to insurance, to the welfare schemes, to the people who normally operate outside the traditional organizational boundaries and structures. This is a significant step towards addressing long-standing inequalities in the workplace and the world of work. The courts encourage us to think beyond the short-term contracts and ask very deep questions. How are we supporting continuous learning? How are we enabling income stability? How are we ensuring that technology becomes an empower rather than it exploits us? The enterprises that will stand out in the future are those that just don't use the talent, but those that invest in talent. And they treat gig economy workers as contributors to value creation, not just as cost optimizers. Coming to the second aspect of this theme is sustainability. Today, sustainability is not just a nice to have word, not something that you talk about and only about intent. Youngsters like you who are joining organizations are posing deeper questions to us. Climate change, resource constraints, conscious consumers, they have all made one thing very clear. Green operations are not just a trend,
They are a necessity in the world today. And what is encouraging is that, sustainability is increasingly being powered by data and digital systems. It is not just it's good to have sort of a concept which was driven by intent alone. Data analytics, for example, is helping organizations to redesign supply chains, to reduce waste and to reduce emissions. By using demand forecasting tools, organizations like mine, previous organization, the FMCG sector, for example, is using this for making sure that real-time data and, real-time inventory is available and that overproduction is not happening or even underproduction for that matter. So organizations or manufacturing sectors are also using data for predictive analytics and predictive maintenance so that the right amount of energy is being used. Systems and processes are being put in place so that governance mechanisms are all put in place properly. Because people like you, the youngsters, are joining the organization and now asking questions. How is this organization run? What is the impact on the planet that's going to be? And how are we mitigating all of that? In the long run, the most successful enterprises will not be the ones that grow at the expense of the planet, but that grow with the planet. Coming to digital transformation, technology is all around us and it's all pervasive. And with the DPTP Act also, it's becoming extremely important that digital data and the data that we are using is used with a lot of ethical integrity, right? It's a digital transformation has changed the way relationships are built. Today trust is often created or even broken through a screen rather than when we meet people in person. So it can help us scale our businesses much faster, analyze much better, and operate much smarter than we ever did. But technology alone is not enough. Today, values matter more than ever before. Organizations that will thrive will be those that combine data with empathy, that combine automation with ethics and speed with transparency. Because while technology connects all of us, it is the trust that sustains us. What makes the conference like the ICESBD 2026 special is that it brings together the entrepreneurs, the corporates, the educators, the researchers, and policymakers and students all together in one place. And that's important because the future of business is not, created in silos. It is created when the entrepreneurs bring in the courage and the creativity, the corporates bring in the scale and the execution, the educators bring in the mindset, and the policymakers create the ecosystem. It's only when all these worlds come together that the real change starts happening. For the students who are in this room, I just want to, leave you with one thought. The world of work is changing very, very rapidly. You are entering a place where there will not be any very fixed career path. Your roles will keep evolving, and therefore your learning will never stop. You must understand that this is going to be a stage where you need to constantly be on your toes. What is going to be your biggest advantage is going to be not just your skills, but the ability to adapt, to evolve, to collaborate, and also to lead with integrity. So make sure that you're on top of things. You're not just one, trick pony kind of a thing. You are able to evolve with the continuous requirements of an organization. So unlearning a lot of things and learning something new is going to be a norm going forward. As we begin this conference, I really hope that the conference of the next 2 days is not just, it goes beyond just the theories and trends, and it talks about the real world problems. What is working, what is not working, what do we need to change? The future belongs to not just the fastest or the biggest enterprises. It's going to be for those who are thoughtful, who are responsible, and who are courageous enough to evolve. I congratulate the organizing team once again, and I really wish you all the best for this coming summit. And thank you so much for having me be part of this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your rich insights and inspiring perspective on people-led transformation and leadership. Your thoughtful address has truly enriched our understanding and set a strong direction for meaningful engagement and sustainable excellence. Now, indeed a moment of great pride and privilege for us to introduce a visionary leader whose guidance continues to shape academic excellence and institutional growth. Professor Dr. Balwinder Shukla Ma'am, Vice Chancellor, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, is an outstanding administrator, eminent academician, and accomplished researcher and a far-sighted visionary leader. An MTech from IIT Kharagpur and PhD from Queen's University, UK, she has been key strategist behind the exponential growth of Amity higher education, contributing significantly to global rankings such as QS and B, as well as prestigious accreditations. She has led numerous executive education and consulting initiatives, mentored entrepreneurs across diverse sectors, and actively champions in entrepreneurship, research, and internationalization, CSR, and industry academia collaboration. Her exceptional contributions to higher education have been widely recognized through numerous national and international awards, reflecting her inspiring leadership and enduring impact. It's our honor to invite Ma'am to share her wisdom, words of wisdom, her visionary leadership, and profound insight continue to inspire academic excellence and innovation. Let's welcome all VC Ma'am, Professor Dr. Balwinder Shukla.
Honorable Founder President, sir, Honorable Chancellor, a very esteemed chief guest for the function, guests of honors, my colleagues, Dr. Sanjeev Bansal, Dr. Sujata Khandai, Dr. G. Pradhan, all the distinguished guests, faculty colleagues, and dear students. First of all, I would like to congratulate Dr. Sujata Khandai for organizing the 4th edition of International Conference on Entrepreneurship and Sustainable Business Development. I think this conference is extremely important, keeping in mind the vision for the Viksit Bharat by 2047. And when we look at the vision of the Viksit Bharat, and where the very important aspects are given in the 5 pillars of the Viksit Bharat are empowered sustainable, empowered citizen, sustainable economy. And this conference is talking about the sustainable business development, which is an integral part of the sustainable economy. And how the economy will be the sustainable is very important. And the most important of the economy is the first and foremost is the agriculture, because we being the agriculture dominated country, and that how do we bring those practices. And when currently we all know that what was happening globally, and especially between India and US, the tariffs were imposed because the India did not agree to the certain trade agreements which were not in the interest of the agriculture of the country, the farmers of the country. And therefore the dream is for the Viksit Bharat, entrepreneurship and becomes extremely important. And these all of you, the student of the business management, it's very important for all of you to understand, because by 2047, you will be the one who will have contributed immensely to the economic development of the nation. Therefore, today's conference is extremely important for all of you to understand what are those aspects which you need to focus. Because I could see that the topics which have been chosen by Dr. Khandai and her team are extremely important. Next Generation Innovative Expo has been organized with the theme Sustainable Digital and Disruptive Business Expo. And I think the people who have showcased their innovations must be the great learning avenue for all of you who are present here. Again, the innovative research papers presentations on the sustainability, which have been organized at the different venues, and then also the how to craft the high quality research papers for publishing in the journals, and where the resource persons are, yeah, from the University of Goldsmith, University of London. I'm so happy that Dr. Ivan Yupik is here to conduct this workshop. And the poster presentation also, which are being organized, and the students and the faculty are presenting there. So the whole conference is very well organized, the planned, and I think it is going to give a great exposure to all of you. Our honorable founder president, right from the beginning, when he started the higher education from there itself, he said that India will be the superpower by 2030. And that was his vision. And later on, with the vision of Honorable Prime Minister has came for the Viksit Bharat. Our Honorable Founder President have aligned his vision with the country's vision, and he's relentlessly with his family, with his team, and all the universities and schools is working that how we achieve this dream for our nation. And further, he always said that each Amitian will be a success story. And whereas our Honorable Chancellor takes it further and says that the Amitians will be different, they will not only be thinking for themselves, but they will be thinking for the nation, for the economic development, as well as for the world, to make the world a better place to live. So all of you have the great opportunities, lot of challenges also, but what will work? The leadership which you develop in yourself, and that can be through the innovation, creativity, and seeing that how the results are, how the outcomes are attained. So therefore, the Honorable Chancellor's founder president's mission that outcome, the mission connect, mission synergy, and mission outcome. So over here, you are going to all the presenters who are coming online and as well as the offline. You will be interacting with them and building the relationship, and which will translate it to later on the outcome, maybe the outcome during the conference, or maybe the next 3 months, next 6 months, or a year. And we always look at that what is going to the outcome. And I'm sure that Dr. Sujata Khandai has planned and worked out that how what will be the outcome of this conference and how those outcome will be attained over a period of time. And for all of you, the student, another thing is that knowledge which you will gain in this conference, you will not get those knowledge in the books very easily. Therefore, pay full attention to this conference and build your strong knowledge, which will be the foundation for the building the new skills and competencies which are required for a successful corporate executive or successful entrepreneur. Or so this conference is focusing on entrepreneurship, and therefore your mind has to be creative, innovative, and bringing the outcome. With this, once again, I extend very warm welcome to our esteemed guests on the dais, the audience, as well as um, convey all the best for the grand success of this conference. During the conference, I'm sure that all of you are going to have the great learning. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your inspiring word and invaluable guidance that have enriched this conference. We are truly grateful for your continued support and visionary leadership for ICSBD 2026. Now we move ahead with the introduction of our distinguished keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Mate Sene. He is Professor of School of Economics and Business at University of Ljubljana, SEBLU. It is my pleasure to introduce our session chair for this session who has joined us virtually. Professor Mate Sene is a full professor of management and organization at the School of Economics and Business, University of Ljubljana, Slovenia. His research focuses on creativity, human resource management, leadership, and digital work, with publications in leading journals, including the Academy of Management Journal. He serves as editor-in-chief of a scholarly journal and is on the editorial board of several top-ranked international journals. Professor Sarne currently leads multiple funded research initiatives and global projects such as #Humanizing Digital Work and eWonderland, advancing critical insights into the future of work. Now, thank you, Professor Sarne, for joining us virtually, and let's look forward to this session, which is full of thoughts and insightful perspectives.
Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. And it is really my pleasure to be with you virtually. I hope you can hear me. I think so. All right, great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Not sure you can also see my slides. Maybe not. Not yet.
Not yet.
Here we go. This should hopefully work.
Visible now.
Yes. Yes. All right. Perfect. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Like I said, really my pleasure to be at least virtually with you, to be continuously supporting this conference as well as our relationship that we have with the Amity University. I'm here kind of representing the University of Ljubljana, but also the Slovenian Academy of Management, as well as the Humanizing Digital Work Research Dissemination Platform. That is kind of the overarching platform behind what I'll be talking about as well. I focused on one aspect of the theme of the conference that, of course, I cover the most, coming more from the organizational behavior, organizational psychology, or micromanagement perspective, which is the digital relationships. And it does not only mean relationships with each other, but also relationships that we have with technology. And as you'll see, I'll also discuss one of the very, let's say, most popular concepts in organizational psychology at the moment, which is human sustainability. So putting it all kind of in the perspective of recent changes in the working world, as has been already very nicely discussed, I'll focus on a couple of elements that we are currently studying in practice, and then, of course, trying to develop research, rigorous research behind it. Specifically the always-on culture and the techno-stress in relation with the changes with regards to the work deconstruction, as you'll see. And then what can be done about it to make basically digital workplaces and digital relationships and work with technology a little bit more humane. And this is the key premise of our research as well as our platform, Humanizing Digital Work. So this gets us kind of to the backdrop of digital transformation. Of course, you've had conferences specifically on the matter, and this is something we've all been discussing for the last 15 years, pretty much. The thing is that with digital transformation, we have very much focused a lot on information systems, on the infrastructure, on the actual technology itself, not really knowing what it does to the people or humans behind work with technology. And what that actually implies, we've been hearing about the gig economy already, a big, of course, change in the way we see work or we connect work with workers or with employees, which would mean any basically global platforms where algorithms or algorithmic management is the one managing employees or people, even through Volt, Glovo, Uber, whatever. You have basically algorithms that are managing very tangible, of course, services even more prolific on digital platforms that also produce digital outcomes of digital work. It can also, of course, imply hybrid and remote working associations or arrangements, professions that are being changed or even disappearing, for example, university without teachers. And even before the widespread use of generative AI, for example, there was a study published in 2016 that has shown that computer-generated art has been perceived by people as more humane than art done actually by people. And it is the very art that we've always said, okay, this is one thing that computers or technology cannot really replace or change us. So where does this take us? This is something that we focus on in research that I'll be briefly discussing in this address. In our, let's say, program group or research platform, we focus on what makes digital workers actually perform well in digital settings, what are the competencies in this regard, how to lead them, how to design, set up, sustain virtual teams, what the future of work will actually look like is specifically in relation to collaborating or working with and through technology. So to focus on a couple of aspects that have been made quite prominent in our research as very important in shaping these realities. The one thing that we continuously have been seeing even before the pandemic, but even more on the uptake after it, is a so-called what we call the infinite work loop. So it's basically a note that describes the always-on work culture, where you are continuously connected through work. We also don't have a very clear start or end or final version of the work. And of course, it's being fostered a lot by digital connectivity, as well as very fluid and asynchronous work that happens, of course, globally across time zones, and cultures that reward responsiveness much more over reflection and thought and creativity. Now, this is a problem, of course, for the workers or people working with technology generally. You always feel you've never quite caught up on the work. You're always connected and on standby and kind of busy without necessarily making the valuable contributions that you could if you focused more. So it erodes focus, but also erodes meaning itself, which is a very key driver of motivation, as well as, of course, creative solutions that can drive also sustainable businesses, and erodes recovery and focus on human sustainability, as we'll see slightly later, and turns availability in a performance signal where it is actually not, right? The performance outcome should be measured by the outcomes, not by the availability. Very much related to that is the so-called tax of technostress. Technostress is, let's say, one aspect of stress produced by working with technology excessively, has been debated and examined since the early 2000s, but of course a lot more made prominent during and after the pandemic as well. So it's basically the hidden cost of digital work, where you have these withdrawals of energy, attention, focus again, as well as recovery, because you are too invaded by technology, because you think technology is too complex that you're working with, that you do not really trust the technology, that you find technology uncertain. So these are the dimensions or elements of techno stress. It comes from too many inputs, as well as too little closure, and basically the lines between work and non-work being blurred, as well as constantly adapting to new ways of working through technology, to new expectations related to technology. It accumulates basically very cognitively, but then has very emotional as well as mental and physical responses as well. And it's not just, of course, very negative for people and their mental and physical health, but for the actual performance and the results of work as well. So it also erodes deep thinking and focus needed very much for reflection and creativity. It, of course, also erodes psychological as well as physical recovery, and like I said, sustainable performance over time. which gets us to the concept of human sustainability. As you can see here below, very prominent in top journals in our, let's say, field of management, but even more so lately in organizational psychology, organizational behavior. It's something that's called the restricted employee sustainability theory. Basically describes human sustainability as the key state where you can thrive if you devote the approximately equal amounts of effort, time, energy into three elements of functioning. One is productivity, so actually focusing on work. The other is growth, so doing something also off work can be related or somehow connected, have some meaning or implications for future work, but has more to do with hobbies, has more to do with personal development, developing learning and mastery also in non-work time, as well as maintenance, meaning taking care of yourself, sleeping well, recovering, logging off of work, taking care of your body, eating well, physical exercise, sports, and so on. So this gets us into the thriving state, which is optimal over the long run for the actual humans, but also for their performance. Now, of course, we continuously neglect over time and defer maintenance, especially for productivity because of work-related challenges, too much work, deadlines, projects, and so on, but also for growth sometimes, so focusing too much maybe on some of our, let's say, leisure activities, hobbies, for example, gaming all night, and so on. That would be the example of deferring maintenance in favor of growth, which over time is eroding our health. This would be in the restricted employee sustainability theory called so-called chronic entropy being eroded over time, which of course can lead to, after we cross this homeostatic boundary of not being able to manage anymore, to a collapse and acute entropy, which leads to all sorts of negative outcomes, and of course also implies that over the long run, now we need to revive ourselves to be able to survive, which would imply that we necessarily now need to defer productivity and growth for corrective maintenance, which is of course not in the benefit of anyone, also the employers, of course, taking care or not taking care of their employees or workers, right? Because then that would mean leave of absence, it would mean sick leaves, it would mean reduced performance over time. So definitely not a good thing for anyone in this setting. And now putting it all in another, let's say, very popular stream of research as well as practice that is related to the work deconstruction, which implies basically taking the gig economy principles and applying them in more traditional work organizations within, well, let's say, organizations, but also across platforms or across industries of connected organizations. We see quite a lot of that in Europe, for example, in marketing agencies being connected in, let's say, connected global ecosystems. Startup world is a prime example of something like that as well. And what the point here is, and you can see very recent research on the matter published in top journals as well, we have traditionally seen, let's say, jobs being very much connected to the person occupying it, right? Traditionally. Now, of course, with the uptake of technology, AI even more so, we can redefine work to see what's out of these tasks that the workers have usually traditionally been doing can be covered by technology now. So work needs to be redefined with some upscaling, different placement being set up. But this is something we already see a lot in work organizations. A more, let's say, contemporary or even a future approach would be the so-called fluid approach to work deconstruction, when you have basically also within traditional organizations people being specialists, of course, but not necessarily working on the same job all the time, more so being connected through a digital platform that tracks their availability, their skills, their competences, and so on, and matches them with tasks that are occurring or are being set up in a continuous manner, basically in a very efficient, algorithmic managed manner. So basically, as a worker in such an organization, you don't have a, let's say, clear job per se, but you know, or you have a specialty description, and then you're jumping from task to task as it emerges, just like on gig platforms. Now, this is a very, let's say, new approach to traditional work organizations, but we see this on the uptake, like I said, in, let's say, bigger organizational systems already quite a lot, as well as in some smaller ones where you can connect different organizations in a so-called co-opetition model with each other across industries or across sectors. Now, kind of moving to the, let's say, final part of my keynote is also a relation of how these principles that I've kind of been describing more on the abstract manner are also being examined or focused on through our own research. So I have three kind of myths or echoes that I call, that we try to kind of not debunk but explain a little bit more through three streams of research. One is the hybrid work design. One of the myths is that we see also kind of in practice is that it's easier to design remote than on-site work, or at least managers don't focus as much attention to work design done remotely or in hybrid way, which is a problem in itself in relation to performance management and so on. We have focused on specifically on this matter in a series of research. I'm just portraying one of these here that is based on qualitative comparative analysis of work design configurations that focuses on work characteristics, so dimensions of work design, and comparing them across on-site, hybrid, and remote forms of work. What we show actually, and you can see here maybe in a very, let's say, abstract and simplified way, what makes performance being highest in such work arrangements are these conditions that you can see here. Specifically, one condition is that you enrich work design, meaning that you would increase the levels of work characteristics across all of them, across relational, across social, across knowledge, across task enriched aspects, which is very much in line with the motivational work design and self-determination theory approaches from the 80s and 90s onwards. But specifically, if you look at the overlap of what works as well, especially when jobs are highly complex, which we are seeing more and more at the moment, of course, with the uptake of knowledge work and even more so working with technology, is the task identity that is in the middle. Task identity as one of the task characteristics of the enriched job design approach, which means how much do employees see their work as a holistic whole and can identify with the jobs to find additional sources of meaning in their work. For work-life balance, for example, so this was for performance specifically. For work-life balance, it's a little bit different. And if we compare this, and this is another paper that is currently under review in the second round in one of the journals, it's specifically structure and predictability in presentism through technology, meaning that, of course, people find their work-life balance being worse or lessened if they don't have this structure and predictability, which is kind of a counter, let's say, intuitive maybe finding, where remote work, of course, have always given us lots of flexibility, lots of freedom. But on the other hand, it makes people more, let's say, better perceive their work-life balance, as well as be able to predict their, let's say, life as well as work better if there is a little bit more structure imposed in the, and predictability imposed in their work. Can be self-imposed, can be, of course, imposed or coordinated in relation to management or work designers themselves. And the other echo that we can see is that work with technology is more effective and thereby less stressful. Of course, it can definitely be more effective, and that is the point of technology generally. But I just want to highlight a couple of research that we did on technostress specifically. So we focused across 3 studies on technostress, in 2 of them on, let's say, the most prominent dimension, especially in remote work. And this was during the pandemic that we did these studies on techno invasion specifically. And in one study focused on technostress as a global dimension across the technostress dimensions, including also complexity, techno uncertainty, techno overload, and so on. Seeing a very, let's say, clear pattern that is very much in line with other research and also meta-analytic evidence recently, is that basically techno stress results on the short run on general work-related stress or job stress or frustration in one of the studies, and then on the long run decreases beneficial outcomes such as creativity and meaningfulness you derive from your work, and increases negative outcomes such as burnout or specifically emotional exhaustion, as we have seen. So this is very interesting and of course important to note as we design work with technology going forward. And then the third one is a stream that I want to highlight that focuses on research of digital nomads. Digital nomads being, let's say, viewed as, let's say, the most extreme of flexible global mobility work forms, where individuals basically choose where they go and travel freely, mostly working using technology and the internet. So it's more like the lifestyle approach to not just work, but life itself. We have a very large cross-country data collection project currently going on. It's called e-Wanderlust, where we have more than 100 people involved in the network collecting data. Specifically, currently we're covering 50 countries and are basically just finishing the data collection procedures across the globe. We have about 650 digital nomads, but also about 300 remote workers. So across this sample currently and still being increased, like we said, and a couple, or let's say multiple models that we focus on in relation to the things that I talked about, but also some additional things that are more digital nomadism specific. Now I want to just highlight one of these that is the most in line with the topic of today's keynote, which specifically focus on human sustainability, so thriving, surviving, and subsisting. So we specifically focus here, and this was on the first cutoff point where we did last year with this research. We specifically focus on these three human sustainability states as outcomes of self-reported, of course, by these digital nomads across these countries that we also control for some national cultural dimensions of the target destinations. So thriving, subsisting, surviving, measured through learning and vitality as two dimensions of thriving, well-being, physical as well as affective of subsisting, and surviving as these negative outcomes of emotional exhaustion and burnout over the long run. We specifically focus here in this research on how, if they perceive their work interfering with leisure, and you have three dimensions of this, so time, strain, and behavior-based, and it's quite closely related to work-life balance, but more specific for digital nomads that see basically their work and life integration even more intertwined than your typical, let's say, remote or digital or any worker, basically, and how this is mediated through sleep. Basically, the premise is that if they find work interfering with their lifestyle, nomadic lifestyle, they would sleep more poorly. And then on the long run, that would lead to the reduction of, let's say, beneficial thriving outcomes, and the reduction, and then of course the increase of negative outcomes of physical well-being as well as emotional exhaustion and burnout. And what is interesting here is that we find a very clear moderating role of recovery. There are some differences within specific elements of recovery, but it has a clear role in moderating these relationships, in leading to more beneficial outcomes and buffering the negative effects on the negative outcomes. Now, just to kind of finish or wrap up humanizing digital work, our platform has been mentioned. It's a research dissemination platform. You can scan the QR code if you're further interested. Specifically, what we do here in this platform is we try to reposition or translate the research that we do on a very academic, rigorous manner in more practical, plain language, layman's terms, accessible for anyone, specifically for practice, for students, for practitioners. So this is what we are after. We have a crew, including also Ivan there from the front row, but also a number of people across the globe that are contributing this content related to that. And we have many of these initiatives that are very much trying to be, let's say, catchy across these channels of LinkedIn, Instagram, Medium, as well as the website, that we try to disseminate our knowledge across. Thank you so much for listening to me. Hopefully this digital keynote worked well. Looking forward to, of course, the next steps of the conference. I wish you the best of luck with the conference and all the best generally. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Mate, for joining us virtually and enriching this session with your clarity of thoughts and insightful perspective. We truly appreciate your time, engagement, and valuable contribution. Now, moving forward, it is privilege to introduce our guest of honor, a leader who exemplifies purpose-driven leadership and impactful sustainability practice. Ms. Saranya Pradhan is the head of sustainability and corporate communications at McCain Food India, with over a decade of experience in driving purpose-led strategies that create business value and positive societal impact. She leads McCain integrated sustainability agenda across the value chain, focusing on smart and sustainable farming, resource-efficient operations, good food, and thriving communities. With prior experience at HCL Foundation and Jubilant Bhartiya Foundation, Saranya brings deep expertise in community development, stakeholder engagement, and sustainability communication, and is widely recognized for her thought leadership in values-driven branding and inclusive growth. May I now invite Ms. Saranya Pradhan ma'am to grace the dais.
Good morning, respected dignitaries, distinguished speakers, faculty members, researchers, entrepreneurs, students, and fellow change makers. It's truly an honor to be here at ICESBD 2026 at Amity University. When I look at the theme of this conference, entrepreneurship, sustainability, and digital transformation, I don't just see academic tracks or industry buzzwords. I see the blueprint of the future of business. And more importantly, I see the people in this room who will build that future. We are living through a time where the definition of business success is being rewritten. Not long ago, companies were measured primarily by profit, scale, and market share. Today, the questions are deeper and more demanding. What impact do you have on the planet? How do you treat people across your value chain? And are you building resilience or just short-term growth? Are you using technology to enable progress or just accelerated consumption? This shift is not a trend, it's a structural reset. In my work in sustainability and CorpCom, I've seen firsthand how expectations from businesses have evolved. Consumers are more conscious. Investors are more watchful. Governments are more ambitious. And young professionals, many of you here, are far less willing to work for organizations that succeed at the cost of society or the environment. That's why the conversations happening at this conference are so important. Entrepreneurship today is not just about solving for convenience or speed. It's about solving for consequence. The gig economy, platform businesses, and digital first ventures, they have unlocked incredible access and flexibility. But they have also forced us to rethink worker security, income stability, and digital trust. The most successful entrepreneurs of the next decade will be those who ask, just because we can scale something quickly, should we? And how do we scale it responsibly? Responsible entrepreneurship means designing business models that are inclusive, fair, and future-ready from day one, not adding ethics as an afterthought. For a long time, sustainability sat in a corner of organizations, sometimes under CSR, sometimes under compliance. Today, it sits at
at the strategy table. Climate change, water stress, soil health, waste management. These are not just environmental issues, they are business continuity issues. In the food and agri sector where I work, we see this very clearly. Without healthy soil, resilient farmers, and responsible water use, there is no long-term business. Sustainability is not a side initiative. It is risk management, innovation, and growth strategy all rolled into one. And this is where academia and industry must work together. Researchers help us ask better questions. Entrepreneurs help us test bold solutions. Corporate helps scale what works. Policymakers help create the right enabling environment. Conferences like ICESBD are where these worlds meet. And that collaboration is exactly what we need. Another powerful theme here is digital transformation. AI, data, platforms, and automation are transforming how we produce, sell, and communicate. But as we digitize everything, we must not dehumanize everything. Trust will be the currency of the digital economy. Customers will stay with brands that they trust. Workers will engage with platforms that treat them fairly. Citizens will support policies that are transparent and inclusive. So as we build digital businesses, we must also build digital ethics around privacy, transparency, accessibility, and inclusion. To the students and young founders here, you are entering the world of business at a fascinating time. You don't have to unlearn decades of extractive thinking the way many legacy systems do. You can build differently from the start. Build ventures that use resources wisely, that respect people across the value chain, that leverage technology responsibly, and that create value that lasts beyond the next funding round. Profit and purpose are not opposites. In the long term, they strengthen each other. If there's one idea that I'd like to leave you with, it is this. The future will not be shaped by the biggest companies alone, but by the most responsible ones. And responsibility is not a constraint on innovation. It is a catalyst for better, smarter, and more resilient innovation. I congratulate the organizers, faculty, and the students of Amity School of Business for creating a platform like ICESBD that brings together ideas, research, enterprise, and purpose. Thank you for the opportunity to be part of this important conversation. I look forward to learning from the discussions, the research, and the innovations showcased here. Wishing all of you an inspiring and impactful conference ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your insightful and inspiring address that beautifully highlighted the role of sustainability in creating shared value. Now, our next keynote speaker for today is Mr. Santosh Sharma, founder and CEO, Book My Jet, Council Chamber SOCHM, National Council of Tourism and Hospitality, Delhi. Mr. Santosh Sharma, sir, is an Indian aviation entrepreneur building for the next era of air mobility in India. As the founder of Book My Jet, he is focused on creating aviation infrastructure that blends technology, operational excellence, and trust, designed to scale with India's economic growth. He believes the future of India aviation lies in the systems that are transparent, data-driven, and his leadership is shaped by a long-term vision of building globally relevant aviation companies from India. Now, I request our keynote speaker to address this young generation, and we look forward to your insightful stories from your experience.
Am I audible? Excuse me, I'm audible to all of you? The last row? Yes? Okay, are you aware of the fact that the benefits of clapping? No, what are the benefits of clapping? I didn't ask you to clap. Huh? No. What are the benefits of clapping? Anybody from science background? You would know this, right? Sorry? Okay, first is it improves, it makes you in a good mood. It comes, it improves your mood. Anything else? Anyone? Raise your hand and I could answer. What are the benefits of clapping? What are the benefits of clapping? Go on. It improves your blood pressure. Sorry? Burns calories, yes. It wakes you up. Yeah. Okay. It boosts your immunity system. Okay. What else? Improves your digestive system. So the best thing you do in the early in the morning is clap. Clap for all of us who are sitting here. Can you clap harder, please? Better. Yeah, but you guys are from Amity. This is my first time in Amity, and I was so blown away by the campus size. And thank you, Kshitij. I don't know whether you're here or not for being such a wonderful host and my temporary driver. Okay. And thank you. Sorry, I'm not going to use any doctor. I can use my first name, right? Okay. Thank you, Sujata, Ruchi, and Ruchika for putting me in this podium where all are females and I'm the only male. That's the reason I spilled water. Actually, I got so nervous while coming here. So, but I'm the only male here who got 20 minutes to speak, and they all got 10 minutes, by the way. Thank you so much once again. I want to, because see, Sharanya, Shiman, Doctor, everybody has spoken so much about sustainable, business and stuff like that. So I'm not really going to speak much on that because, I don't have any filter in life, so I can't really speak on something which are very serious and stuff like that. Okay. And that's the reason I left my consulting job once upon a time. I was earning pretty well that time, but then I never wanted to be in consulting and doing all these presentations and, Excel sheets, etc. So can I start my session with a song if you don't mind? All of you? You can relate to this song actually, you know what? Though it is from our time, but let me see if you can relate to this song. How many of you know Amir Khan? Okay. Which song was this? Right. Why I was playing this song? Because while I was sitting here, I was looking at all of you, okay? There was somebody trying to mentor people that keep quiet. There was somebody who was lying peacefully on somebody's shoulder. There were a lot of people on mobile phone. I'm not embarrassing anyone, okay? But the best part is that you all are still here waiting for me to speak. So thank you so much. Let me give a brief about myself. For all of you who doesn't know me, my name is Santosh Sharma. I'm a founder and CEO of Book My Jet, India's only tech platform for booking private jets. How many of you have booked private jets so far in life? There's somebody who's flown. Who's that? Why are you laughing at? Have you actually flown in a private jet? Lovely. Right. So it's the only technology platform which is meant for private jet booking for all the information. I'll come to it, why I built it. But before that, since I'm talking on entrepreneurship, let me tell you 2-3 things very clearly, okay? I'm I'm slightly blunt by nature. I'm slightly outspoken. So don't mind me if I don't intend to be arrogant, but I'll try to be as honest as possible to all of you guys so that this 15 minutes, you enjoy yourself, we have a lot of fun, and I want to make it interactive. Is it okay if I make it interactive so that we all are awake? I can ask questions, you can ask me questions. If you want to ask me a question, I'll be more than happy. If you ask me questions, I'll be triply, quadruply happy, right? Okay, so I come from a very small place called Jamshedpur. Anybody from Jamshedpur? No one. Okay. Where is Jamshedpur, by the way? Anybody? Jharkhand. Okay, lovely. I went to one college recently and asked, where is Jamshedpur? There was absolute silence in the audience. So I felt a bit uncomfortable. I did my schooling in Jamshedpur, but then being a very confused person, I'm still very confused in life, and which is good for me, right? After completing my school in Jamshedpur, I went to Bombay, did my graduation with BA in economics, and I still don't know why did I do BA in economics. Though I'm a topper from my college, from National College Bandra, I still don't know why did I do actual economics, because I don't understand anything about economics, frankly speaking, all right? And then I came to Delhi for my master's, and after completing my master's, did some job in a consulting company, and then the life turn, my life actually took a huge turn because of one hotel, which is in Noida. Which is a 5-star hotel in Noida? Louder, come on, you guys are young, yeah, 22, 23 years old. Not working? Okay, it's not working. Okay, which is the hotel in Noida? Which 5-star hotel? All thanks to that hotel, I came into aviation because I was consultant to MBD Radisson a long time in 2000 and 2002, 2003. And that's where I met somebody who lives in Noida, and he offered me a job in a company which is based today in airport. And I joined a company, which is a aviation company, India's first company to offer fractional ownership, private jet, of course. And it was an interesting thing because I became the first salesman of this market, of charter market. मुझे कुछ नहीं आता था, frankly speaking, उस वक्त जहाज के बारे में. But then 2005 to 2009, when I was working in the company, built that company from 1 aircraft to 8 aircraft, 1 client to 289 clients. Then we had 1 office that time. I left with 5 offices. Though my exit was not in a very good taste, but then it happened for good. Why I'm saying all this thing? Because it was in 2009, my entrepreneurial journey started. It all happened accidentally because my wife, who is also my current business partner, she wasn't my wife that time. She was reporting into me. I was her boss. It was she actually who got me into business. And people say I report into her, but I say I still don't report to her. She still reports into me, right? Being the CEO of the company, she is the co-founder. But yes, she handles a very important part, that is finance of my company. In 2009, when we started our journey, the first lesson I learned that time accidentally was, see, how many of you want to start your own business tomorrow? How many of you want to start your own business? No? None? 1, 2. Okay. Have you ever heard of a word called half pregnancy? Naam suna kahi bhi? See, either you are yes or no. There's nothing called this, right? There's no word called half pregnancy. So either you are say yes or you say no. So how many of you want to start your own business? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about it. And rest all? Okay, let's say 10. And how many of you want to join a company and do some job? Rest all. बाकी लोग क्या करना चाहते हैं? कुछ नहीं. I asked how many of you want to start your own business. There were 10 people. Okay. I asked how many of you want to join a job. None. So बाकी लोग क्या करेंगे फिर? Family business. अच्छा, how many of you want to join family business? Not bad. बाकी लोग? That's a crazy number, by the way, huh? That's a crazy number. And okay, so the first lesson that we learned in 2009 when we started own business, no money in our pocket. I think somebody wrote in this media that we had 50,000 rupees in our pocket. We started off the business. No, it was actually much lesser than that. We literally had no money in the pocket. And when we started a business, we went to the old clients because we were brokers now. Initially, we had our own aircraft, so it was easily sellable. But when we went out to look for a business as a broker, believe me or not, something very interesting happened to us. We thought nobody will come to us to give us business. But mind you, 80% of my ex-company's client, where I was serving them, they all came to me. The first lesson that I learned that time, that when you're working in a company, try to build your own brand. People say very famously that, you should not fall in love with the company, etc., etc. But what is more important is, when you're working in any company, try to make your own brand, try to make your own name there. And that's what we did in that company. And that's where our business started going in. We made some mistakes as an entrepreneur because neither me nor my wife, Ajuka, we both are not from a business background. My father was in Tata, her father was in Intelligence Bureau. So we had no business background. Okay. We made one mistake, which was possibly one of the biggest mistakes we made in 2014. Our revenue was flowing very high. We were making a lot of money. We were traveling across globe. We were like buying properties, etc., etc. So एक middle class के लिए बहुत अच्छा चीज होता है ना कि यार यार मजे कर मजा आ रहा है. But it was that time we should have built our company at least 4-5 times. We should have taken more people in the company. We should have gone for more offices. We should have thought about buying our own plane. We did not. Most of the people would not share this thing, but why I'm sharing this thing? Because all the people today, most of us are from middle class, right? Most of us. So when you start a journey, make sure that you're not thinking of today. You're thinking of 10, 20 years down the line, right? Okay. Another question. How many of you are a Shah Rukh Khan fan out here? How many of you are a Shah Rukh Khan fan? Bas. How many of us have seen that interview of Rajkumar Rao when he bought a house and he was being interviewed in a car and he said something very interesting? Have you seen that? Have you seen that interview of Rajkumar Rao? Anyone who has seen this? I'll not ask you a question, but I just want to ask. You've seen that, right? No, it's a very interesting thing which is meant for all of you. And that is primarily what I stand for and what I believe in very strongly. So Rajkumar Rao was buying a house. So he went to Shah Rukh Khan and he went to Shah Rukh Khan and asked, Khan Saab, please tell me, please advise me, what kind of house should I buy? Shah Rukh Khan said something very interesting. और अगर आप सब जगह हो, सुन रहे हो, तो ये चीज को गार्ड बांध लो, चाहे आप जो भी हो, चाहे if you're working, if you're a student, teacher, employee, whatever. Shah Rukh Khan said that बेटा जो भी करना अपने औकात से ऊपर करना. What I mean to say was, हम लोग अक्सर क्या करते हैं? What we do is, this is not gyan, this is the fact. We actually carried a lot of this burden of our past. जो पापा माँ को देखा करते हुए सोचता है कि उससे थोड़ा बेहतर कर लेंगे. बट कभी भी कुछ भी करो, राइट? कुछ भी करो हमेशा अपने हैसियत के ऊपर, राइट? In all good sense, no opposite sense. So if you want to buy a car, buy which is beyond the budget. If you want to buy a house, it should be beyond your budget, right? उससे मालूम क्या होता है? The biggest benefit that happens is you are challenging yourself actually, right? And there's a word called manifestation. I am saying this thing because it has happened with me. It's happened with me every day, right? And it works. So that is a big thing that we did, after 14, 15, we started actually challenging ourselves. And that's when in 2019, Book My Jet actually happened, right? Today, if you see most of the startups who are working today in the market, right? Anybody here has a startup here? Any startup who's working on a startup? Anybody out here? 1, 2. Okay, the man in private jet. Okay, you're flown, right? Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. So today, I was talking to somebody in Jaipur yesterday. I was in Jaipur and I met an investor over there. And he was saying that today the worst part of the story is we are somehow very fascinated by the word called startup, aren't we? The fact of the matter is, startup is nothing but an idea. It's a business, right? So please, all of you who are or who intend to get into startup, make one thing very sure, right? That your idea is realistic. Your idea is very visionary. Number two, it has got some meat to it, right? And number two, which is very important, is you should have a very good team. If you have a very good team, trust me, you are fundable. But the larger point in startup today, which I feel very sorry about it, is most of the young guys, I have invested in few of them, right? They only think of raising funds, and funds. That is not entrepreneurship. If you have heard about Indra Nui, how many of you have heard of Indra Nui out here? Indra Nui, how many of you heard? I had the pleasure of flying her. So she gifted me a book. If you have seen her interview, she's written, there's nothing called work-life balance. I think, with all due respect to Professor Matik, right? There's nothing called work-life balance. It's all about hustling. At home, you're hustling. In workplace, you're hustling actually. It's all about how well you hustle and achieve your dreams, whatever. A balance nahi kar sakte. How can you balance your work life? I don't know. I mean, I think this is a very frivolous statement that there's something called work-life balance. And also one more thing. People say, you go to Bangalore, you go to Hyderabad, you go to Gurgaon, Noida. It's all, a lot of people are coming, a lot of people are working on their ideas. But what is more important is, right, when I ask them some questions, 80% of them falters. They don't even have idea of what they're doing actually. They have just been, I think they're more fascinated. They're just flowing away in this journey of whatever, entrepreneurship, etc. But I think what is more important is that whatever you're doing, whatever is your idea, howsoever crazy it is, right? Please don't leave it in between. There are a lot of ideas. When I started Book My Jet in 2019, sorry, still today, right? I find it so challenging for me to convince an operator is somebody who owns private plane, to come to my platform. They all are friends. I give them a lot of business, but when it comes to putting their aircraft on my platform, it's a challenge. And I love it. And I'm just loving it because every time somebody says, no, boss Santosh, I cannot put my aircraft on your platform for whatsoever reason. It's a huge thing for me. And all the young guys sitting here, I invite you guys, right? I was talking to Sujata and I was telling her that we need young people in this market because all of you, most of you rather, after passing out, maybe you'll join your business, you start your own business, but whosoever is going out for, employment, you'll think of FMCG, IT, manufacturing, etc., etc. Think of general aviation. This is the one market which is totally open. We don't have people in India, young people like you guys working in this market, innovating. There's a huge employment opportunity over there. If you look at US, Europe market, it's massive. All the people working there are young people. So whenever I'm traveling abroad and seeing this people in the air shows, I'm surprised. We don't have people. So all the academic institutions, I believe this is a huge place where you should work on some ideas related to general aviation because nobody has done. It's totally a virgin market. Okay. I have 5 minutes, I guess. I'll finish off. Okay. So, where do I come? Okay. So Book My Jet is still, is still in the working stage. We have people, we have technology guys working on this, but now we're talking about eVTOLs. We're talking about electric vehicle. We're talking about, vertical takeoff landing aircraft. So that is one place where you can even think of that because, there's a company in Bangalore. They said they will come out in 2027, but I think nothing before 2029. And for all the people who are working on their own ideas, mind you, government is paying a lot of money. They're spending a lot of money to boost your idea. If you have some ideas, please reach out to your, your startup division. I think you have one, right? Okay, coming back to Book My Jet once again. If you look at this market where Book My Jet actually got technology for the first time in India in this market of private jet, if you look at the broad market, I was talking to a professor. I said we are about 25 years behind than those market, US, Europe market. We're 25 years behind. It's only because we don't use technology here, right? So when we started doing this thing, there's something very interesting actually happened with us, because people think it's private jet, to sare high-fi log honge, but believe me, it's one of the most unorganized market in this country, right? So one of the major reason also for starting Book My Jet was to make things very transparent, very clear, and also is very approachable. So think of that you can hire a private jet for ₹1,00,000, which may cost 20 lakh rupees otherwise, but we are making it so affordable that you can even hire a private jet for ₹1,00,000, right? But to make it even bigger, we need people to work on this. And that's the reason when I got this invitation from MIT, I was the first one to jump on it. I said, it's a great opportunity for me to reach out to you guys. Think, and if you have some ideas, please reach out to me. My number is available, readily available. My email is available. You can reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to help you out. Last but not the least, see, you all guys are working in a, you guys are on final stage, or like final stage of your this thing, final semester, both, right? Okay. This may sound a bit rude, but the fact of the matter is, today when we interview people, young people, we realize that, people say there's no job in the market. Trust me, there are surplus job in the market. If you're looking at a job market, okay, the only thing which matter is that we are looking for people, who are working on the skills. It's so difficult for us, for entrepreneur like us, for businessmen like us, that when we hire people, we have to literally interview for 50, 60 for one post, 50, 60 candidates for one post. It's very difficult for us. So my request, sincere request is, please, you have a mobile phone, perfectly fine, right? We are talking about gig innovation. We are talking about work from home, remote working, etc. But mind you, टेक्नोलॉजी बनाने वाले हम थे, टेक्नोलॉजी हमें नहीं बनाया, हमने टेक्नोलॉजी बनाया है, right? My request, my son is 19 years, so I understand, you'll understand where I'm coming from. Please, my request to all of you is, request, right? Please don't live in an artificial world, right? You have chat GPT, you have AI, etc. But please, if you're working on an idea, if you're making a presentation, if you're making a report, whatever, please use your own research. Please don't use these things. It is not going to take you anywhere. This is my honest request to all of you. And last but not the least, please, the job market is very competitive. Yet, the only thing that company looks for, I think, Simon was a part of our DS group. You should understand, and of course, you all incorporate that today companies are looking at more for skillful worker than, knowledgeable kind of people. I don't think so. They're looking for people how much you know, but how well you know. So my request to all of you will be, please do a lot of research, right? Go to the market, meet with people, try to understand what's happening in whichever field you want to work in, right? And if you really want to start something of your own, this is a right time. This is a fantastic time when you can start your own business. But the only thing is, build a small team, good team, work on an idea. Don't leave your idea just because somebody is laughing at it. And last but not the least, please have patience. Money will come. So there's nothing more than that. I think I've taken more than my time. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for listening to me. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enriching experience to share with our young audience and to share the mantra for success, that keep challenging yourself and have a good team if you want to be successful in your life. Now, moving forward, it is the time for felicitation ceremony. I would like to invite Chairperson ICSBD Dr. Sujata Khandai ma'am to facilitate our esteemed dignitaries and guests. Also, I request conference convener and coordinators to join us on the stage for felicitation ceremony. Dr. Ruchika Jaiswal, ma'am, please join us. Dr. Nidhi Gupta, ma'am, please join us. So requesting our conference conveners and chairperson men to felicitate chief guest, Ms. Simin Askari. Our guest of honor, Ms. Saranya Pradhan. Requesting Dr. Sujata Khandelwal, Ruchi Khandelwal ma'am and Dr. Deepa Kapoor ma'am to please come forward. Our keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Mate Serne, Professor, School of Economics and Business, since he has joined us virtually. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Keynote speaker, Mr. Santosh Sharma, founder and CEO, Book My Jet.
Thank you so much for welcoming our dignitaries. With the felicitation ceremony concluded, we now turn the attention to an exciting and forward-looking segment of the conference, the Next Gen Innovate Expo 2026. We welcome all of you to join us for the opening ceremony of the same. The expo will showcase cutting-edge innovations, pioneer solutions, transformative ideas shaping the future of business and technology. We invite all the participants to proceed to E3 Palm Court, Amity University, Noida, to explore the exhibits. And can you have patience? Can you have patience? Maintain the discipline. Please join us in the Palm Courts for the opening ceremony. Now, please proceed.
तब आया हूँ रुक जाओ 2 मिनट रुक जाओ
देश नहीं है, यहाँ पे है, वो आके खड़ा है।
Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to the Amity School of Business, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, Noida. It is a privilege to be part of ICESBD 2026, the 4th International Conference on Entrepreneurship and Sustainable Business Development, being held on the 5th and 6th of February 2026.
As students, we feel truly honored to engage with such innovative minds through this global platform that brings together academicians, researchers, industry professionals, entrepreneurs, and policymakers. The theme of this year's conference, Evolving Enterprises, Navigating Gig, Innovation, Green Operations, and Digital Relationship, reflects the evolving business landscape shaped by digital transformation and sustainability.
The diverse sessions, including research papers, presentations, panel discussions, workshops, and the Next Gen Innovative Expo, provide meaningful opportunities for academic exchange, collaborations, and research development. We look forward to insightful decisions and impactful research presentations in this technical session.
It is now our honor to introduce our esteemed session chairs for this technical session. We are privileged to welcome Dr. Shalini Srivastav, a professor at Jaipur Institute of Management, Noida, with over 26 years of experience in academia, research, and executive development. She is a seasoned management professional with deep expertise in leadership, human resource management, and organizational behavior. She has authored over 100 peer-reviewed publications and brings a strong analytical and balanced perspective to academic evaluation.
We are equally honored to welcome Dr. Simajit Singh, Associate Professor at Great Lakes, visiting at Southampton University, Delhi. He is an academician and research specialization in investment, management, and open finance, affiliated with the University of Southampton, Delhi, and IMT Cosmicode, with over 6 years of experience in teaching and research and strong expertise in corporate finance, portfolio management, and financial analytics using R and Python. He has contributed to several ABDC and Scopus indexed publications. We are grateful for his presence and guidance.
We warmly welcome our session coordinator also, Dr. Pratibha Garg, Associate Professor, and Dr. Mona Chaudhary, Assistant Professor from Amity School of Business, Amity University. We are grateful to all our distinguished dignitaries for their guidance this academic forum. Before we begin, a brief note on the presentation guidelines. Each presenter will be allotted 8 to 10 minutes for presenting their papers, followed by 5 minutes for question and discussion. We request all presenters to kindly adhere to the allotted time.
Our first presenter for the session is Ms. Mansi Bhati, research scholar from ACCF, Amity University, Noida. Presenting in offline mode, she'll be presenting a paper titled Fear of Missing Out, FOMO, as a mechanism linking digital promotional stimuli and impulsive buying behavior. May I request Ms. Mansi Bhati to kindly begin her presentation. Just press these buttons. No, these buttons for the switching of the slides. इधर दूसरी पीपीटी है कोई? अरे दूसरी पीपीटी है भैया. अच्छा ये वाली पीपीटी है ना? ठीक है. दो सेकंड. अभी ना. अच्छा आपको पीछे वीडियो. Here's the one.
ये एक्सक्यूज मी इसे इधर नहीं रख सकते, ये माइक इधर नहीं हो सकता.
मेरे पे 2 सेकंड. Right now.
Start. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mansi Bhati, research scholar under the guidance of Dr. Ruchi Jain ma'am, Amity College of Commerce and Finance, Amity University, Noida. Today, I'll be presenting paper on fear of missing out as a mechanism linking digital promotional stimuli and impulsive buying behavior. So I'll start with the introduction part. Digital shopping platforms increasingly use scarcity cues, limited time offers, promotions, and social influence signals to stimulate consumer engagement. While these strategies are effective, they also create urgency and competition. One psychological outcome of this environment is FOMO, that is fear of missing out. Fear of missing out means it's the anxiety that others may gain the opportunities we are missing on. So, despite its importance, we still do not fully understand how digital promotions triggers FOMO and leads to the impulsive buying behavior. See, this leads us to the core dilemma faced in the digital shopping era today. This is my Ella part. Then coming to the challenges and the research gaps. Platforms use urgency-based tactics to accelerate purchases, but these tactics did trigger unintended psychological responses, FOMO, which while the prior research, they links FOMO to impulsive buying, and there's a limited understanding of which promotional stimuli triggers FOMO and how FOMO translates into impulsive purchases and what role hedonic motivation plays in this entire process of FOMO to impulsive buying. See, not all promotions trigger FOMO equally, and not like hedonic motivation is also not completely explored. This is my theoretical framework, that is SOR model. To explain the relationship systematically, we rely on a well-established conceptual framework. This study is grounded on the stimulus-organism response. According to my model, external stimuli influences internal psychological states, which then leads to the behavioral processes. Digital promotional cues, they act as a stimuli here, and FOMO represents the organism. Impulsive buying is the response. These are the 4 promotional triggers of FOMO, that is scarcity cues, promotional intensity, social influence, and the limited time offers, like the temporal constraints. It increases the decision pressure. This is my research model. Building onto this framework, we have developed this model. This figure represents our research model. Digital promotional stimuli like scarcity, limited time offers, promotions, and social influence, they act as a stimuli here, and these influences FOMO, which in turn affects the hedonic motivation and impulsive buying behavior. After testing this model empirically, let me brief about my key findings then. These are the hypotheses. The methodology or the research design used here is to test this proposed model that I've shown prior. I've conducted a quantitative study using the survey-based research design. Data was collected targeting the online shoppers and the shoppers who use the digital platforms regularly. And a structured questionnaire with the 5-point Likert scale was used. Data was analyzed using the PLSM. These are the findings. We obtained several findings, which I'll summarize now. The result shows that scarcity cues, LTO, and social influence significantly influences the FOMO, whereas FOMO influences both hedonic motivation and impulsive buying behavior, and promotional discount did not significantly trigger the FOMO. All my hypotheses were accepted except the promotional discount. Then this is the mediation pathway. This explains how FOMO leads to impulsive buying through hedonic motivation. And we found that hedonic motivation partially mediates the relationship between FOMO and impulsive buying. As when consumers experiences FOMO, they are more likely to seek enjoyment and excitement more than the rational decision making. and emotional and experimental pathway do not fully mediates it. Partial mediation as FOMO also directly, it's also directly influencing the impulsive buying behavior. Then these are the theoretical and practical contributions. Theoretical contribution, it is extending the SOR framework, and also promotional stimuli, FOMO and hedonic has not been studied together yet. These are the conclusions and future directions, like platform-specific investigations and moderating factors like self-control, cultural and context are still underexplored. References. Thank you.
So first and foremost, Mansi, right? Good presentation, but were you in hurry? I could see that. I'm asking you.
No, I wasn't.
You aren't. Okay, no issues. So a few things, I just want to ask you, which year are you in?
Second year, third semester.
Second year, right? First and foremost, I'll give you feedback, and please take this feedback as a just helping you out, because you are starting your academics journey and you are going to join us soon, right? So there are a few things that first and foremost, whenever you're making presentation, what I see that your introduction was in bullets, right? Less is more. Your slide should be space, you don't have to read, right? I can understand, because being scholar, so I'm with you. Maybe if I were in your place, I would have done that. But छोटी-छोटी चीजें बहुत important है. Second thing, you said there were certain research gaps. So whenever you're writing a research gap, there should be some citation. I mean, कहाँ से मिलके आया? कोई LR से आया होगा, कुछ तो आया होगा, कुछ पुराना, कुछ तो साइट करेंगे ना कि कैसे पता लग रहा है research gap है. You said stimulus organism response. You have taken SOR. Who has given this particular theory? किसने दिया ये theory को? कैसे SOR आपने use? And why have you used SOR? What does the literature speaks about that SOR has not been utilized earlier? And what is the significance of using SOR, not other theory here?
The work has been done on SOR, but it extends this SOR framework. Like,
it has not extended here. SOR is SOR, stimulus organism response. Extend होता तो extend होता है. Theory होती है, right? इंपॉर्टेंट क्या होता है? फीडबैक है, नो क्रिटिसिज्म, क्योंकि अभी आप बहुत प्रेजेंटेशंस दोगे, है ना? तो ये बिल्कुल नहीं सोचेगा मैम ने क्या क्या चीज़ पूछा, इसका इससे इम्पैक्ट नहीं होगा जो मैं एवेल्यूशन करने जा रही हूँ, बिकॉज इस स्टेज पे होता है, राइट? बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ें. सेकेंड थिंग कुड आई कुड सी वाई PLS-SEM नॉट CB-SEM?
PLS-SEM is used for like more when the data is more complex. And
कौन सा कॉम्प्लेक्स? तो मुझे कुछ भी नहीं दिखा आपके मॉडल में. Third thing, instrument detail has to be there when you are making a presentation. I could not find anything. You said standardized scale. What do you mean by standardized scale? किसने दिया था? किसका है? FOMO किसका था? I want to see, impulsive buying behavior किसका लिया था? Hedonic motivation किसका था? And क्या FOMO में जो आपने ये डाला है scarcity promotion, I think these are not the dimensions of FOMO.
It is from where the FOMO has been derived.
कहाँ citation कहाँ है बेटा? बहुत देखो ना कहाँ पे है. आपके इंस्ट्रूमेंट जो होते हैं ना, बहुत ये नहीं चाहिए. ये आपका थीसिस वर्क है. हमको सीधे कहते हैं ना, जो दिखता है वो बिकता है, एंड आप उसको कन्विंस करना चाह रहे हो. आपने मेहनत किया है अनडाउटेडली, बट ये फोमो के ये क्या आर दे द आइटम्स, आर दे द सब कंस्ट्रक्ट्स, व्हाट आर दिस? एज एन इंडिविजुअल आई एम नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड, बिकॉज उसके बाद आप बीच में लेके आ गए जहाँ पे फोमो और ये चीज़ लेके करा आपने. ठीक है?
These are the attributes of the digital promotion.
That what? So when these are the attributes of digital promotion, where are the citation कि किसका है? आपने लिखा कि 4 promotions जो trigger आपने बोले ना, तो वो citation कहाँ है? कैसे हमको पता लगेगा कि यही है, इनके अलावा हैं कि नहीं है? हो सकता आपने गलत नहीं लिखा होगा, बट आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कहाँ का है. Then whenever there is a hypothesis, you never have to write accepted. Word लिखते हैं supported. Accept word नहीं लिखा जाता है hypothesis वाला. आपने PLS यूज किया एंड PLS में तो बहुत ब्यूटीफुल इमेजेस आ जाती हैं. आई कुड नॉट सी दैट ऑल्सो. हमें कुछ समझ ही में नहीं आ रहा है कि आपने किया है, आपने लिखा है, आपने दिखाया है बीटा वैल्यू, आपने एक दिखाया था कॉर्नर में जो सिग्निफिकेंट जो एसोसिएट दैट इट वाज नॉट सपोर्टेड क्योंकि P वैल्यू वाज 0.05 से ज्यादा थी, 0.16 कुछ करके आ रही है. आई एम एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड फाइंडिंग्स. P वैल्यू आपने ऐसे दिखाया, बट देयर शुड बी समथिंग when you are making a presentation. आपने काम किया, then you आप उस पे जाइएगा अपने मॉडल पे, आपने मीडिएटर किया, राइट? इफ आई आस्क यू व्हाई हैव यू यूज्ड hedonic motivation as a mediator not as a moderator, then नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आई कैन आस्क यू इनडायरेक्ट इफेक्ट कैसे आया, आपका क्या रिलेशनशिप आ रहा है? बिकॉज बीटा वैल्यू जो बोलती है इनडायरेक्ट इफेक्ट होता है बिटवीन फोमो इम्पल्सिव बिहेवियर की हम बात कर रहे हैं. तो क्या होता है कि फोमो इनटू hedonic मोटिवेशन इनटू इम्पल्सिव बिहेवियर, इसको जब ऐड करते हैं तो वो डायरेक्ट उसको हम वो मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं तो आपका रिलेशनशिप आता है इनडायरेक्ट, एंड डायरेक्ट होगा फोमोर. इसका मैं क्यों ये चीज़ें बता रही हूँ? इसलिए बता रही हूँ कि जब प्रेजेंटेशन देते हो ना तो वैल्यूज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है. स्पेशली आप एम्पेरिकल कर रहे हो, एम्पेरिकल में मुझे ज्यादा कुछ दिख नहीं रहा है, मुझे समझ में आ रहा है जो आपने ग्राफ बना दिया. एज आप जो प्रेजेंट कर रहे हो ना, बहुत लोगों के सामने प्रेजेंट कर रहे हो, स्कॉलर्स भी होंगे, स्टूडेंट्स भी होंगे, मे बी एज फैकल्टी, मे बी एज रिसर्चर्स, वी नो व्हाट यू आर डूइंग, बट आप तो एक लोगों को बता रहे हो ना. तो वो इसीलिए मैंने पूछा आर यू इन हेस्ट, आपने इतना जल्दी जल्दी किया? क्योंकि मुझे वो फिगर ही नहीं दिख रहा है, मुझे वो दिख ही नहीं रहा है कि क्या चीज आपने किया हुआ है. आर यू गेटिंग? सो अदरवाइज टॉपिक वाज फाइन, बट थोड़ा सा अगर पेपर में कन्वर्ट करना है तो मे बी देयर मस्ट बी सम ऑब्जेक्टिव विथ यू एंड योर गाइड ऑल्सो इफ यू रियली वांट टू मेक इट. एंड देन यू सेड क्रॉस सेक्शनल डेटा, इंडस्ट्री कौन सी थी, किस पे किया था, रिस्पोंडेंट्स कितने थे, मुझे समझ ही में नहीं आ रहा कितने रिस्पोंडेंट्स पे किया, वॉज इट हार्ड कॉपी पे किया था या गूगल फॉर्म के थ्रू किया था, वो भी मुझे नहीं पता, कुछ नहीं पता, मैं कैसे समझूं पेपर के बारे में?
It was through Google
तो
Forms.
आई मीन
and
दैट व्हाट,
200 respondents.
मैं हर चीज आपकी एग्री कर रही हूँ बट मुझे तो कुछ दिख नहीं रहा है, ठीक है ना? So each and everything has to be clearly, specifically mentioned to enhance the credibility of you as a research scholar who is going to join us soon. That again I'm saying, है ना? This is from my side. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Most of the things has been explained by ma'am. Just one suggestion. Just be precise what you want to say. Okay. Best wishes.
In fact, those were sitting. You can also ask if you have followers or whatever.
Hello, Mansi. So your topic is really good. So you need to work hard on that. So presentation can be improved, right? So findings are not very clear. So work on that. Best wishes.
Yes, only one thing that when you put the framework, it should be the outcome of the software that you are using, and it should show the values that shows that how much is this strength and is there any variable this model does not accept, and you move that out of consideration, right? So you can work better on this. Thank you.
मैम कह रही है ना, मैं सॉरी ऐड कर रही हूँ, थोड़ा रिसर्च का कीड़ा आ जाता है. बीटा वैल्यू डाल दो ना, फोमो और हिडोनिक में बीटा वैल्यू डाला, हिडोनिक मोटिवेशन इंपल्सिव में बीटा वैल्यू डाल दिया, डायरेक्ट डाल दिया, तो C' हो जाएगा टोटल इफेक्ट, डायरेक्ट इफेक्ट, इनडायरेक्ट इफेक्ट. आप जब करोगे ना कोई भी, मैं मानती हूँ कि अभी आपका बिल्कुल स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द करियर है, राइट? शुरू से अपने आप को जितना ज्यादा मान लोगे ना, अच्छे से कर लोगे ना, आपको ये सारी चीजें नेक्स्ट कॉन्फ्रेंस में इज सर्टेनली गोइंग टू हेल्प आपको बहुत. क्योंकि अगर पेपर कहीं डालोगे तो रिव्यूअर कमेंट्स भी बहुत स्ट्रांग होते हैं. या यू वांट टू आस्क?
Hi, Mansi.
Hello.
Mansi, I just want to ask one thing, that how the digital platform promotion is leading to impulsive buying behavior. Did you figure out any implication? Because you didn't speak much about the implication, the managerial implication. What could be the managerial implication?
See, all these digital platform promotions, all these stimuli, they don't directly leads to the impulsive buying behavior. Here, the FOMO and the hedonic, they act as the partial mediators First, all these stimuli that triggers the FOMO, which also, like here the hedonic acts as a link between the impulsive buying and the FOMO, which has been triggered by these stimuli, and the hedonic that short-term pleasure, excitement, irrational behavior, then ultimately leads to the impulse.
That I understand, but what, as a scholar, what you are going to propose a manager in the managerial implication part, whenever you write a research paper, there is a specific managerial implication part. So what you are going to propose, that I want to ask. Like according to your model, what would be the managerial implication in your paper if you are planning up for paper?
I didn't get your point.
There is a theoretical implication and managerial implication, no doubt. That
okay.
was I'm asking the managerial implication.
How the theoretical implication, like how all these stimuli, the FOMO, the hedonic and impulsive, the post behavior, the previous behavior, and the psychological mechanism, how they are linking together, and how it is gonna like how the marketers or these uh, today's digital promotional, these how can marketers use that?
Okay. Thank you, Mansi. All the best.
Thank you, Mansi Bhati, for your insightful and well-structured presentation. Next, we have Ms. Banashri Kar, research scholar from Amity University, Noida, presenting in offline mode. She will present her paper titled Green Pioneers, Sustainable Entrepreneurship as a Catalyst for Sustainable Consumption.
Is online also the presentation? Excuse me, are there any online presentations?
Hello, very good afternoon to everyone present here. So my name is Banashri and I'm pursuing my PhD from the Department of Amity College of Commerce and Finance under the supervision of Dr. Sujata Khandai and Dr. Ivan Zupek. And today I'm presenting my topic, Green Pioneers, Sustainable Entrepreneurship as a Catalyst for Sustainable Consumption. So this will be the flow of my presentation, starting with the introduction. So as we all know, the increasing global consumption patterns driven by the rapid population growth and urbanization is highly emphasizing the need to move towards the sustainable consumption lifestyle. And this shift is highly required for not only solving the environmental problems, but also to promote environmental and social well-being, long-term well-being. And in this process, sustainable entrepreneurs emerge as a catalyst of change that integrates the principles of triple bottom line, which is environmental consideration, social and economic consideration within the business models to do some innovations. The sustainable entrepreneurs is defined as the continuing commitment by the business to behave ethically and promotes economic development while improving the quality of life of the workforce and the life of future generations. Whereas the traditional entrepreneurship overlooks the overlooks the environmental and social consideration. They mostly focus on the economic concepts. According to Global Outlook report, so over 30% of global greenhouse gas emissions are attributed to unsustainable production and consumption practices, which requires the entrepreneur innovations for sustainability. And entrepreneurs adopting sustainable practices bridge the gap between production and consumption by integrating ecological innovations with the market demand. Okay. So, shall I?
On the objectives, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, based on the literature review and research gaps, we have formulated our objectives. First, to explore the strategies adopted and challenges faced by sustainable entrepreneurs in promoting sustainable consumption. To identify how these strategies and challenges affect the promotion of sustainable consumption in a developing economic context. So moving on to the methodology part, the study adopts a qualitative research design method. It follows a purpose sampling method because it wants to interview the only entrepreneurs who are into sustainable businesses. We have interviewed 23 entrepreneurs through a personal interview using a semi-structured questionnaire. The data analysis has been done using grounded theory, Joya methodology. We have used MaxQDA24 as a software. And during the interview process, we have covered sectors like sustainable textile and fashion, agriculture and food, lifestyle, packaging, recycling, upcycling, and waste management. So moving on to the results and discussion part. So under strategies, we have identified sustainable awareness and education, which caters to consumer education and awareness, workshops, consumer engagement to storytelling, then community engagement and empowerment, eco-friendly production, which involves using sustainable material, sustainable packaging, process innovation, then collaboration and partnership, and lastly, commitment to ethical practices and transparency. Next, the challenges. So we have identified 5 different challenges, which is behavioral, which includes mindset issues, lack of consumer awareness, price sensitivity, economic challenges, including financial constraints, higher costs, scalability and growth, and then operational, regulatory policy, and market-related challenges. So we have provided a comprehensive framework showing how these strategies can be utilized to cater to the challenges encountered by the sustainable entrepreneurs. The challenges has been studied from the lens of institutional theory, and the strategies has been studied on the lens of NRBV, which is natural resource-based view theory. These strategies overcoming the challenges for promoting sustainable consumption behavior. So moving on to the conclusion, we have found that the sustainable entrepreneurs play a very crucial role in fostering sustainable consumption by leveraging the sustainability strategies like awareness, eco-friendly production, collaboration, and partnership, which aligns with the NRBV theories. And additionally, the entrepreneurs also encounter behavioral, economic, operational, regulatory, and market-related challenges. It has also been found that there are medium of empowering the consumers by providing the options for conscious choices. If the entrepreneur doesn't provide the options for the sustainable products, the consumer won't be able to cater to the availability. It drives the innovation and sustainability through product innovation and responsible business practices. Lastly, they are the major driver of transforming markets as the actions contribute to the emergence of sustainable market landscape. The study provides several implications. First, it provides a comprehensive framework presenting how the strategies can be utilized to cater to the encountered challenges for promoting sustainable consumption behavior. Then the entrepreneurs can utilize these strategies and implement in their business models to how the challenges, to cater to the challenges and then promote the sustainable consumption behavior among their markets. They should invest the more time and resources in the awareness part. They should strategize, or they should craft some designs or messages like just to promote the awareness, emphasizing the advantages of sustainable consumption. And policymakers and other regulatory bodies should also provide the supportive infrastructure in the form of financial support, incentives, or so to encourage the consumers to adopt the sustainable consumption behavior through the products and services strategies provided by the sustainable entrepreneurs. The study also has some limitations. So samples selected are from the diverse sectors of India. So the future studies are recommended to incorporate a specific sector, maybe the fashion and apparel or cosmetic sector, the skincare sector, apparel. Sample size was very limited, restricting the generalizability. So the future studies can expand the numbers. The study primarily focused on the sustainable entrepreneurs, so neglecting the other roles of other bodies like the governments, NGO, and regulatory authorities, as they also play a crucial role. And lastly, the future studies can also integrate other theoretical framework like dynamic capabilities theory, diffusion of innovations theory, to understand the various strategies incorporated by the sustainable entrepreneurs. Thank you. The references.
So you did qualitative study.
Yes.
Where you get that theoretical saturation?
So basically, theoretical saturation, we have started with the small number of entrepreneurs. And after 21, 22, we have found that the responses was getting similar. So we have stopped at 23, a minimum number.
Okay. 23 is a big number that I have seen, even for the FT50 studies that we did for the business ethics. We reach at somewhere at 10 or 11. Was it simple interviews or it was in-depth interview?
It was in-depth interviews. The interviews lasted for at least 30 minutes to 45 minutes. The entrepreneurs was indeed difficult to reach, but it took almost 8 to 9 months, or like more than I think 10 months, 8 to 9 months. So we have targeted them, we have called, reach out them. So in this way, we have targeted to the entrepreneurs, and they have given that minimum 30 minutes. We have asked them just to tell me in detail what their problems they're facing while doing this, because sustainability is very nation state. And I think the entrepreneurs were very I interviewed, they were they are so involved in their business, they could actually tell me in the detail the problems they're facing, and how they're catering to the consumers, how the consumers are behaving in this field.
Okay. By grounded theory.
Yes.
It's tough to defend.
So basically, my study aligns with the grounded theory because I wanted to give a framework like how these strategies can be utilized to cater the challenges. Other than that, ethnography phenomenology was not aligning with my study.
Okay, but still you have more alternatives. Yeah.
Because we have case study, other alternatives. So I wanted to just for the theory development process. So I wanted to focus on the grounded theory part.
Yeah, so you have mentioned case study. If you read the work of Eisenhardt from Stanford, known as code lady in the terms of qualitative studies, Eisenhardt. So if you read his paper, because your work is not kind of, I would not say very novel, that it should go through the grounded theory. If you follow the case study route, that will be the more better. Just my opinion. Yeah.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the feedback.
So you are in fourth year. I came to, is it? You're in fourth year?
Fourth year.
Yeah. So first and foremost, good work, but few observations again. One is you didn't use open-ended essays. You used joy methodology. That is, you asked about, you interviewed, right? So if you've interviewed, there should be some transcripts, some screenshots of the transcripts. I'm not saying everything, but yes, it solves the purpose, right?
Yeah.
So I could not find the transcripts here. Second thing is, you said saturation point around 23, and as said has rightly mentioned, 23, if you are taking, then also it's a very high on number. GEO methodology. Now you have taken this particular second order themes, aggregate dimensions, so it must have been supported by the literature also. And what particular basis, how many questions you had in total? When you interviewed?
So, ma'am, basically, we had 10 to 12 questions.
10 or 12 or 11. When you are doing your work, it should be in number. I mean, you know that, na? So 10 to 12 nahi hota hai.
So I had 10 questions, but on the time of interview, we had questions, from asking from the responses. So
where are the questions?
So actually limited.
अगर क्वेश्चंस हैं 10 या 12 या 11 हैं एंड यू हैड अराउंड 23 रिस्पोंडेंट्स, सो हर पर्टिकुलर रिस्पोंडेंट ने क्वेश्चंस जो भी दिया था, तो जब आपने फर्स्ट ऑर्डर कंसेप्ट्स पे आए तो कहीं ना कहीं आपके पास वो आपने ये आपने इंटरव्यू ऑफलाइन लिया, आपने इंटरव्यू लिया, राइट?
ऑनलाइन
ऑडियो स्क्रिप्ट्स, आपके पास ऑडियोज हैं, आपके पास रिकॉर्डिंग्स हैं, यस रिकॉर्डिंग्स हैं, राइट? तो उसमें how will you come to know कि this was the thing that have come out, and how have you supported with the LR?
So we have transcripts, and we have done the analysis in the MaxQDay, so we can also support in the form of the narratives.
So why not in vivo?
I think both of the software works on a similar
नहीं, मैं ऐसे रीजन पूछ रही हूँ, PLS CBSM भी एक ही चीज है, तो क्यों, मतलब रीजन होता है ना कोई?
Ma'am, basic reason was, and when I was trying to reach the NVivo, it was not it was a paid software, and it was
अच्छा, ठीक
available.
है,
So I opted MaxQDay.
ठीक है, good. I mean during your whole study, because I know GEO methodology, ये सारा चीज समझ में आ रहा है, सब कुछ है, but मुझे कहीं भी लिटरेचर किसी का साइटेशन मुझे कुछ दिख ही नहीं रहा है. Again, this is the major, and you are in fourth year. See, वो फर्स्ट ईयर वाले को तो मैं बेनिफिट ऑफ डाउट दे सकती हूँ, पर आपको मैं नहीं दे सकती, क्योंकि आपने पेपर्स पब्लिश किए होंगे, राइट? ये पेपर का क्या स्टेटस है?
Ma'am, it will be submitted very soon.
So please थोड़ा सा feedback ले लो क्योंकि अच्छा ही होगा कि work है, but call is comparatively tougher than con, right? कॉल तो अगर कर रहे हैं देन डोंट लीव एनी स्टोन अनटर्न, बिकॉज इसमें जो रिव्यूअर के कमेंट्स आते हैं ना वो थोड़े से ज़्यादा जब तक आप इन डेप्थ आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा, बिकॉज ईच एंड एवरीथिंग दैट इज कमिंग आउट एवरी टाइम आई कुड सी चैलेंजेस ही दिख रहे हैं। एग्रीगेट डिमेंशन जैसे आपको ये चैलेंज आया, आई मीन मुझे ये समझ में नहीं आया ये एग्रीगेट डायमेंशन चैलेंज, बिहेवियरल चैलेंज, इकोनॉमिक चैलेंज, ये चैलेंज, तो ये एग्रीगेट डायमेंशन चैलेंज वर्ड नहीं आना चाहिए, दे शुड बी समथिंग डिफरेंट, यू नो, चैलेंजेस को चैलेंज कर दिया। सो क्या है ये एग्जैक्टली क्या चीज कर रहे हो? नेक्स्ट पे आना जरा, सेकंड वाला क्या थीम आपका आया? स्ट्रैटेजीज। यहाँ पे थोड़ा डिफरेंट लग रहा है, देखिए ना, वो उसको थोड़ा चेंज करना, बिकॉज उसको जस्टिफाई करना थोड़ा मुश्किल होगा मुझे जो लगता है। बाकी इट्स फाइन, ऑल द बेस्ट, थैंक यू।
If you can add in the meeting that I have seen in JBB or Business Horizon. I recently got minor from HBR. I did same kind of study, but it was multiple case study. The suggestion was validate it with ethnography or some other approach, because now you have videos also. And you have these GenAI tools, Gemini, all the tools, notebook LLM. So one suggestion was to validate this, just put the YouTube links from there, whatever frame you are proposing, it is aligning with the with that, just for validation or robustness. That I got the
I didn't get your point. Can you mention?
Okay. So in quant you do validity or robustness you do. Okay. So now what is happening in the call papers, especially towards the grounded theory, people are asking for the validation. Okay. Earlier you don't have alternative data allowed, but now you have alternative data, videos. So many videos are there. There are CEO series are there. So many alternative data is there. So there is another approach called ethnography that's becoming famous in the call studies. So they are asking if you are doing grounded theory, especially, you need to also validate it with alternative data if it is available.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you so
You
much.
can extend it for, you got this particular one, maybe form कर सकते हो आगे जाके, all का model हो जाएगा तब form कर सकते हो। Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Manashri, for a valuable presentation. We appreciate your contribution to the session. Moving forward, next we have Ms. Neha Kumar, faculty from the North Campus University, Gurgaon, presenting in offline mode. She'll be present with her paper tilted a structure equation modeling approach to micromanagement influences on job satisfaction and service quality in Dubai service sector. May I invite Ms. Neha Kumar to take the stage? Moving forward, our next presenter is Mr. Prajwal Ajaria, research scholar from Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, presenting in offline mode. He will be presenting his paper titled Leveraging EHRM for Enhanced HR Operations and Business Performance, a study in the IT sector. May I request Mr. Prajwal Ajaria? Moving forward, next we have Ms. Shilpi Jadon, research scholar from Amity University, Madhya Pradesh, presenting in online mode. She will present her paper titled Legal Challenges in the Digital Economy, Gig Innovation and Green Business. Online value? Shilpi. Our next presenter are Mr. Shiv Shakti Singh Shekhawat and Mr. Rohan Rajiv Ghosh, student scholar from the Thakur Ram Narayan College of Law, University of Mumbai, presenting in online mode. They will be presenting their paper titled The Organizational Resilience and Adaptive Strategies in the Gig Economy, a systematic analysis of platform-mediated labor markets during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Hello, am I audible? Can someone confirm from the offline team that
You are audible.
okay? I'm sharing my presentation. Please let me know when it's visible. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Should I start? Hello. Should I start?
Yes, you can start.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. This is Shiv Shakti Singh Shekhawat. I'm a third-year law student. Along with me, I'm the principal author, and along with me, I have my co-author Rohan Ghosh. He's also there in the meeting. So uh, today, I'm presenting a research paper on the title "The Organizational Resilience and Adaptive Strategies in the Gig Economy: A Systematic Analysis of Platform-Mediated Labor Markets During the COVID-19 Pandemic." So to begin with, we'll start with the abstract. Now, to crack the word by word meaning of everything mentioned in the abstract, we'll begin with the paradoxical landscape. Why we mention the paradoxical landscape is that what does it mean? It means two opposite things happening at the same time. The platform saw a massive digital growth, but the workers faced the increased misery. There is a paradox between the organizations, between the platforms and the worker class. Then I mentioned the income volatility, that it just the low pay, it's unpredictable pay. Before the COVID, a driver, and taking an example, a driver used to get at least 10 to 15 steady rides, but during the COVID-19, he might get only 1 or 2 rides waiting for 6, 5, 10 hours. This vanished the certainty. Then I mentioned the significant policy gaps, referring to the legal gray area. The workers are not employees, so they fall in the cracks of the labor market as used by the Zomato. And finally, the digital inequality. This is a critical keyword. It means that while the economy went digital, not everyone has a smartphone or a high-speed data. So if you want to have a device, if you don't have the device, you are locked out of the economy. So the research scope to see at the bottom is simple, that we are investigating the tension between the business resilience of the company and the vulnerability of the worker. Moving on to the next slide. The next slides talk about the context, why the gig economy and COVID-19, how they are related. So let's take an example so it's easier for us to understand. Think of a factory. During the COVID-19, the lockdown hit and the factory closed. This is a systematic failure. The workers were laid off instantly. But what happened was the gig economy and its rise as a rapid digital pivot. A pivot means changing the direction without stopping. The platform transformed from convenience app into an essential infrastructure. For example, again, when people couldn't go to pharmacy, they use Swiggy riders, and which becomes the lifeline. The shift of online food delivery services and other delivery services from luxury to essential is the core context we are talking about here. Moving on to the fourth slide, the objectives and methodology. To study that, we used a systematic literature review. We didn't just pick a random article, we systematically filtered more than 200 to 70 peer reviews paper to find the most credible data available. We use two specific framework mentioned here. The first is organizational resilience theory, which means that it measures how a company absorbs the punch and keeps it standing even when the harsh conditions like COVID, the lockdown were faced. The secondly, it how precarious work framework, meaning the precarity is how the workers were living on the edge. This measures how close a worker is falling into poverty. We compared these two to find the actual truth. Moving on to the next slide. We have the fifth slide, the Indian story, scale and demographies. The data you can see is taken from Niti Aayog, which was the only public data available. So we decoded the data, Indian data, and the projection was that from 7.7 million to 23.5 million workers, gig workers, this is a massive explosion. But look at the sectoral domination. The retail trade is more than 40%. What it means? It means that the gig economy isn't just drivers on bike, it's also the sales agent in the mall, the freelance shop assistant. This indicates the structural shift, meaning the entire way India works is moving from the salary based to task based. We are becoming a nation of freelancer without even realizing it, especially for students who are pursuing their graduations or who are pursuing their college in different cities to earn more or to get paid easily. They opt for gig economy. Moving on, we have this sixth slide, the double-edged impact. Why it is a double-edged impact? Visualize it. A double-edged sword cuts from both the sides. On the first side, when employment was acting as a refuge, when the lockdown happened, migrants from cities like Mumbai lost their jobs, and after losing their jobs, they shifted back. Now they have to choose whatever there was available, whatever crumbs were available from the bread of the lockdown. They didn't want to do the delivery riding work, but it was a refuge, a shelter, or we can call it was a last resort. Like a photographer working in a studio, paid well, was laid off, had to choose the freelancing gigs just to survive. The second is the income trap. This is about volatility. Let's take the same photographer, let's X and one more photographer Y working in the same studio. Because of the lockdown, they are both laid off. Now X had the connections to get more gig works as compared to Y. And this created. Yes.
Can you please come to the straight away to the methodology?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. So as explained, we chose literature reviews because even though the data was completely available and a lot of research papers are already made on this particular topic, we chose because I saw with my personal experience. If some of people can ask me why I didn't just conduct interview of drivers and other gig workers, but the question was, even if I conducted 50 interviews, if I conducted. Yes,
Can you
sir?
please come to the findings? Framework and findings.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Okay, we'll ask questions.
Okay, sir.
Is it?
Shiv.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so presentation, the topic is fine, but I have few, what was the exclusion and inclusion criteria when you used around 200 or 230, literature? So I could not get, and then I could not get the thematic foci. On what basis of SLR you got some themes? Because on the basis of themes, you get a conceptual framework that is for future direction of research. So I'm not able
Yes,
to
ma'am.
see in your slides.
Okay, ma'am. If we can just turn to research scope. So when we
No,
talk
no,
about.
no, sorry. I want scope is about future direction, right? So whatever literature you have gone through, maybe more than 200 papers that you have gone through. So there must be some, you must have,
Yes.
shorten, reduce certain papers.
Yes.
On the basis of that, there is theoretical thematic foci speaking about which were the mediators, which were the moderators, which was IVs, which were DVs and all. And on the basis of that, you make a conceptual framework, and that speaks about that. That is about the future direction of research. I could not find any graphs. I could not find which journals have you gone through. I could not find the years that you have taken into consideration, because when you speak about SLR, it's about Prisma model or whatever you have taken. So I could not find anything in your paper.
Ma'am, this was a presentation for a simple understanding, because everything, the graphs and everything which you are mentioning, is everything there in the research paper. If you
Beta,
want,
that is, I agree. But when
yes,
you are
ma'am.
presenting it, so as a, just as a layperson, we have to understand
Okay.
something, right? So we are not going to go to whatever you have written. It's
Yes,
about
ma'am.
what the graph speaks about in qual. In fact, I would say it's about the graphs. It's about the diagrammatical representation. That is more important, not about the theory that you are speaking about, right? Because what I could see, the topic that you have spoken is about a systematic analysis of platform mediated labor market. So it was something like, how do you think it is there? So something should come out from this is published one. Is it published? Is it a published paper?
I made for this particular conference.
No. Is it a published paper?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
अच्छा, ठीक है. हाँ,
So,
ये मैं
yeah,
exactly
yes,
this is what
exactly.
I want. आप मुझे उस
So
पे आ जाओ.
sorry, ma'am.
नहीं, कोई
Yes,
बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं. थीमेटिक फोकाई पे आ जाओ एक बार. थीम्स
just a sec.
निकाली हैं आपने, वो दिखा दो.
Let me just search.
गुड, यू हैव वर्कड हार्ड. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि आपने मेहनत नहीं की, आपका काम है, दिख रहा है मुझे, ठीक है. बट मुझे तो लग रहा है पेपर पब्लिश्ड है ये. अच्छा, एमिटी
No,
रिसर्च
ma'am.
डाला. अच्छा,
Yes,
got
ma'am.
it. हाँ,
Yes, exactly, ma'am.
ठीक है. बट कभी पूरा पेपर ना भेजा करो,
Okay, ma'am. So sorry, ma'am.
क्योंकि अगर आपको कहीं पब्लिश करने के लिए डालना होगा ना, तो मतलब दिस इज वी टेक एक्सटेंड एब्स्ट्रैक्ट, ठीक है, वो इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. अच्छा, नेक्स्ट पे आ जाओ. टेबल इसका नेक्स्ट पे आओ, फिर नेक्स्ट पे आओ. बहुत काम किया आपने, बट या फाइन.
Yes, ma'am. And
नेक्स्ट पे आओ.
also, yes, ma'am.
पे आओ.
Also, I'm coming to the next, but also to answer your question, which you asked in the initial, that how I reviewed and what were the criteria to choose the 270 papers or 200 plus
हाँ,
papers.
हाँ.
Ma'am, we use the keywords which
हाँ.
we required. So when I asked you to come to the starting slide, the keywords I was mentioning.
नहीं, गॉट इट. बात सुनो तो, बूलियन जब रिसर्च की हम बात
Yes.
करते हैं, कीवर्ड्स की बात करते हैं, तो वो आपके सामने आने चाहिए थे ना.
Yes, ma'am.
कि
Yes, ma'am.
और एंड जब आपने यूज किया था. अच्छा, नेक्स्ट पे आओ. इंक्लूजन क्राइटेरिया मुझे वैसे नहीं दिख रहा है अभी. नेक्स्ट पे आओ. एंड ये बहुत पुराना नहीं है. 18, 19, 22,
Ma'am,
22 लेटेस्ट पेपर आपका नहीं है ये.
Ma'am, only Niti Aayog is the one who published any data, public
हाँ.
data. There is no
हाँ.
other public data
Good,
which is available
good,
or which a
good.
verified source.
अच्छा, मुझे थीमेटिक फोकाई पे आ जाओ आप एक बार.
Just a second, ma'am.
राइट,
This
राइट.
is the data structure, ma'am.
अच्छा, नेक्स्ट पे आओ. ये तो डेटा स्ट्रक्चर हो गया. आप कॉन्सेप्चुअल, वेरी गुड. ये तो वो आ गया. कॉन्सेप्चुअल फ्रेमवर्क कहाँ है?
Yes, ma'am. Just a second.
गुड.
Because, ma'am, I'm really sorry, but everything is mentioned, but the research
नहीं,
paper was too long to.
I can understand. Don't worry.
These were the
पूरा पेपर
suggestions
आपने सबमिट कर दिया है?
Yes, ma'am. I've submitted to your team.
अच्छा बेटा, आगे से ना पूरा पेपर ऐसे सबमिट नहीं करना. इसको कहीं पब्लिश कराना होगा तो वो रिपोजिटरी में अगर चला गया तो फिर फ्लैग और AI आ जाएगा.
I'm so sorry, ma'am. It's my first time.
चलो कोई बात नहीं, बट यू हैव डन ए वंडर. किस ईयर में हो आप?
Ma'am, third year.
अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हो. मुझे एक एंड में आ जाओ, बाकी सर.
Yes, ma'am. These are the question left for the future researches. Even after doing the research, comprehensive research, there was still gaps which need to be answered, which I have mentioned.
Okay. Are you doing PhD?
No, sir. I am a 5-year law student. I'm a third year integrated course.
Okay, nice work. Nice work. If you really want to publish this
Yes, sir.
work, so it's not SLR. It's actually multi-vocal literature review, because you have policy
Okay. Yes, sir.
policy reports. In SLR, you can only have peer-reviewed journals. That's yep. But in your paper, what I am seeing, there is so much white literature. Sorry, white papers are there, policy papers are there.
Yes, sir.
Just search for multivocal literature review methodology guidelines for multivocal literature review. If you can position it in your methodology part, if you can position it around this for multivocal literature review, they are also acceptable now. Okay, so just follow that multivocal literature review instead writing systematic review. Yeah, just one suggestion. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So our guide, Mrs. Shobhanita Acharya, was also the part of Amity. So they suggested us for this particular choosing the literature review.
Yeah.
सर कह रहे हैं ना कि वो जो बता रहे हैं उसको नोट कर दो क्योंकि एसएलआर में वो होता है ना जर्नल्स की बात करते हैं मेरी
Okay.
जर्नल्स होते हैं
We have journals, you know.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
A star, A, जो भी
Yes,
journal
yes, ma'am.
category की बात करते हैं यहाँ पे ना आपके white paper वो का उससे है.
Exactly, ma'am.
So you
Yes,
note it.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Got it.
So all the best.
Uh, okay. Any more questions, sir?
No more questions from our side.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Shiv Shakti Shekhawat and Mr. Rohan Rajiv Ghosh for excellent and compelling presentation. Your analysis and insights were highly appreciated. Next, we have Aryan Gupta representing Deen Dayal Upadhyay College presenting in offline mode. They will present their paper titled Reimagining the Gig Economy, Leveraging AI and Blockchain to Build Inclusive and Decentralized Workforce. May I invite them kindly to begin? Where are they?
So only we had 3, 4, 1, 2, 3.
Three.
ठीक है ना अब वो किसी से
With this, we conclude the. Okay. करो announce करो.
ऐसा नहीं बस सेकंड ये रीडिंग है ना नहीं वो तो मुझे पता है तो कह रहे हैं कि एक निकालना है ना
So, do we have
हाँ राइट इसमें स्क्रॉल डाउन है ठीक है हाँ वही मैंने
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
How about me right now?
With this, we conclude presentation for technical session 2.
We sincerely thank all our presenters for their valuable research contribution and insightful discussion.
It gives me great pleasure to announce that the winner will be declared on Friday during the validity session.
As we conclude this technical session, we extend our sincere gratitude to our esteemed session chair for their valuable guidance.
We also express our heartfelt appreciation to our session coordinators for their dedicated efforts in ensuring the smooth conduct in this session.
A special thank you to all our presenters for their rigorous research contribution and meaningful discussion. We would like to invite our session chair, Dr. Shalini Srivastava and Dr. Simarjeet Singh for felicitation ceremony. And our session coordinator, Pratibha Garg and Mona Chaudhary ma'am as well.
वही इतना बोल रहा था as you conclude कोई नहीं वापस ही कर देता ना as you conclude ये वापस बोल देता है ये तो बोल दिया ना
ये बोल दिया फिर ये बोलना था अब तो मैं ये वाला बोल दिया
एक काम करेंगे, पहले ये बोल देंगे,
क्या?
अच्छा दोबारा रिपीट
हाँ ये बस ये वाला बोल के खत्म कर
याद है। नेम क्या So finally, we have Neha Kumar, faculty from North Camp University, Gurugram, presenting in offline mode. She will present her paper titled in online mode. She will present her paper titled A Structural Equation Modeling Approach to Micromanagement's Influence on Job Satisfaction and Service Quality in Dubai Service Sector. May I invite Ms. Neha Kumar to kindly begin.
Thank you. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible. Kindly please wind up in 5 minutes.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay.
Shall I start my screen share, ma'am?
Yeah, sure. Yes, please start.
So good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Neha Kumar, and I'm pleased to present my paper titled, I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, so the title of the paper is Micromanagement, Job Satisfaction and Service Quality, the Moderating Role of Employee Resilience in the Dubai Sector. This research is co-authored with Beata Mona and Dr. Rekha Pillai. So in this paper, we basically have been analyzing the role as to how these service organizations have been relying on the employee behavior to deliver the quality outcomes. So particularly in Dubai, the service sector contributes more than half of the economy and employs a majority of workforce, which makes employees' performance critical. So employees in the customer-facing roles, they operate under high pressure and constant evaluation. Leadership styles therefore become a key determinant for both the employee well-being and the service quality. So micromanagement, which is characterized as the excessive supervision and close monitoring, it is often used to maintain these standards. So our study basically examines whether this approach improves the outcomes or it instead undermines the satisfaction and the service delivery. So as far as theoretical background is concerned, the study is grounded into three theories, which is contingency theory that says that leadership is effectiveness, it depends on the context, which means that micromanagement may be suitable for some organizations and for some it may not. Leadership member exchange theory, which highlights the low trust relationships that tend to involve more of control and close monitoring, and the job characteristic theory, which emphasizes autonomy as the core dimension that affects the motivation and satisfaction. These are the few of the glimpses of the literature review that I've gone through. And talking about the research gaps, three main gaps have been identified. First is that very few studies examine the micromanagement, job satisfaction, and service quality together within a single integrated model. Second, if we talk about research which is focusing specifically with reference to Dubai's service sector, it remains limited despite its economic significance and unique workforce composition. And thirdly, there's a very little attention given to the employee resilience as a factor that may influence how employees respond to micromanagement. So this study positions resilience as the potential buffer rather than a solution to poor leadership. So basis this, these are the three objectives, that is to examine the impact of micromanagement on job satisfaction and service quality, followed by the second objective, wherein we study the relationship between job satisfaction and service quality.
Excuse me, please. Kindly wind up in 2 minutes.
And finally, to assess the moderating role of employee resilience in the micromanagement. So basis this, the hypothesis was set, and the study was a quantitative study wherein the data was collected from 322 employees from Dubai's service sector, which was validated using the 5-point Likert scale, and the data was analyzed using PLSM. This was the structural model. And the results, if we talk about the measurement model, demonstrated the strong reliability and validity, and the outer loadings were exceeded 0.7. Okay, I'll skip this part. Talking about the structural model results. So micromanagement has a strong, significant negative effect on both the job satisfaction and service quality. And these relationships are statistically significant and above the recommended thresholds. Likewise, job satisfaction shows a significant positive relationship with the service quality. And we also find a significant moderating effect of employee resilience on the relationship between micromanagement and service quality. So overall, the findings suggest that micromanagement significantly reduces employee job satisfaction and service quality, and job satisfaction plays a critical role in enhancing the service quality. And thirdly, employee resilience acts as a
Sorry.
buffering mechanism.
Sorry, Neha, I just, paper is fine. I just want to ask you, mediator, you said something, moderator. So I could not find the results of moderator. Where is it?
And here it is. I was asked to skip,
अच्छा,
so I was
micro,
doing it
हाँ ठीक है,
quickly.
got it. But see, the thing is, I'm not able to find the values. आपने ये मुझे दिख गया, आपका मेजरमेंट मॉडल, स्ट्रक्चरल मॉडल कहाँ है, जहाँ पे कितना बीटा वैल्यू आया जब मॉडरेटर रेजिलियंस को यूज किया गया था. आई कुड नॉट फाइंड. जैसे आपको सपोर्टेड लिखा आपने ना, बट सपोर्टेड में वैल्यू क्या थी, बीटा वैल्यू
मैं
क्या?
बीटा वैल्यू आपको बता देती हूँ. So the micromanagement had a significant negative effect, and the beta value was minus 0.039, and for the second one it was minus 0.410.
But I could not find the graph also जो आपका PLS में दिया जाता है मॉडरेशन का, स्लोप्स भी नहीं है. नेक्स्ट थिंग इज इट पब्लिश्ड?
नॉट येट मैम.
ओके, तो एक सजेशन ये है कि कभी भी कोशिश करना, एक तो बहुत आपकी सारी केवल 4 ही कंस्ट्रक्ट्स हैं. सो माय पर्टिकुलर सजेशन इज यू आर हैविंग ओनली 4 कंस्ट्रक्ट्स एंड आप 3 थियरीज को यूज कर रहे हो. मैक्सिमम अगर आप कभी भी यूज करते हो 2 से ज्यादा यूज ही नहीं करते हो. आप हर थियरी को अगर यूज कर रहे हो, इसका मतलब कि जब हाइपोथेसिस लिखते हैं ना, तो हर हाइपोथेसिस में लिखना होता है कि इस थ्योरी से ये रिलेटेड है, H1 ये, H2 ये, H3 ये. तो 3 थ्योरीज 4 कंस्ट्रक्ट्स नॉट मेक्स एनी सेंस. I could not. And why Dubai? Are you staying in Dubai?
No, ma'am, I'm not staying in
तो
Dubai.
दुबई
One of the
क्यों लिया? तो दुबई क्यों?
co-authors, ma'am, co-authors are from Dubai. I'm one of the co-authors in this paper.
गॉट इट नाइस. तो बस इसको एक तो थियरीज को कम कर दो, जो मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा. 3 थियरीज पेपर्स पब्लिश हो रहा है, 4 कंस्ट्रक्ट में ओनली 3 थियरीज, तो कभी नहीं. मैक्सिमम 2, एज आई सेड. देयर शुड बी अ लिंकेज, देयर शुड बी एसोसिएशन बिटवीन द कंस्ट्रक्ट्स दैट वी डिस्कस. आई कुड नॉट फाइंड योर मॉडरेशन रिजल्ट्स. मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहे हैं. बट येस, आई कुड फाइंड वन थिंग दैट इज देयर, रिसर्च गैप में आपने बहुत क्लियरली बताया है.
I was asked to skip everything in 5 minutes. That's the best
नहीं,
I.
skip नहीं. आपके स्लाइड से आप स्लाइड दिखा दो पूरी, हम स्किप नहीं करेंगे. बट आपके में नहीं है, मैं बता रही हूँ आपको. आपको मैं पूरा टाइम दे रही हूँ, आप सारी स्लाइड्स दिखा दो. आई एम टेलिंग यू इज नॉट देयर.
ठीक है मैम.
ठीक है सर.
Okay. Just one point that ma'am has said, don't use so many theories. We oftenly undervalue the theories. Actually, theories as the life of a person. I have seen the Clayton Christian, okay, and he spent his entire life regarding the diffusion innovation. Okay, so just respect the theories. Just choose one with focus. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for your feedback, sir.
Thank you, Neha, for your valuable presentation. We appreciate your contribution to the session. With this, we would like to conclude our paper presentation for technical session 2.
We sincerely thank all our presenters for their valuable research contribution and insightful discussion.
It gives me great pleasure to announce that the winner will be declared on Friday during the valedictory session.
As we conclude this technical session, we extend our sincere gratitude to our esteemed session chairs for their valuable guidance.
We also express our heartfelt appreciation to our session coordinators for their dedicated efforts in ensuring the smooth conduct for the session.
A special thank to all our presenters for their rigorous research contribution and meaningful discussion.
And to all the participants and attendees for your active engagement and thoughtful presence. Thank you all for making this session impactful and memorable.
Yeah.